We are gonna learn an amazing new skill today, and we're gonna be making our very own notepads that you all can make from home. I mean, these are so nice, y'all. I am very, very impressed. Like, let's just go overhead. I wanna show you guys how, like, look at this. How professional these look. They look like you bought them from a store.
Oh, for sure. And the way it peels off too,
I mean,
exactly like a store-bought one.
Are y'all ready? Like, let's just peel these. Ah! It peels so nice. Now, I did notice that on the, like the title says a sticky note, they're not gonna be sticky. It's more like a notepad. Like, this is a tearaway notepad that we're doing. So this is what we are going to be making today. Supplies are very, very minimal. Now, the cool thing about this is these are already, we have files. We actually have 3 or 4 different files that you can just automatically download from our website, pop them into Design Space, size them the way that you want to, and print and go. However, these are something like you can customize these to make them your own. So if you wanted to put like notes, or if you wanted to even like put in little, what am I trying to say, like doodles down here to make it your own, or like put your name down here, or from the desk of yada, 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 you can do that. And you can really customize and make these make them your own. So we're gonna teach you guys how to do that today. Like I said, the supplies are very, very minimal for this. We're gonna be starting off with, I'm gonna be using, this is the brand that we have here in the office, the Astro Brights. I actually just bought this personally from Walmart, so you all can buy these. We are using a, this is a 65-pound cardstock. You don't have to use a cardstock if you don't want to. I just feel like a cardstock is, this 65-pound is a really good, it's substantial. It's not super light, but it's also flexible enough. Like, I don't feel like, you know, I like this 65-pound cardstock for this project. Next up, and this is gonna be optional. You guys don't have to do this, but we are gonna be using the thin craft board. This is the Cricut thin craft board. Pretty much what this is it's just a very thick cardstock. In this brown craft color, and that just kind of gives it that backing, and I think that's what takes it to the next level for this.
Oh, for sure.
Because before, without that, it just kind of looked unfinished, but with this brown on the back, it's what makes it truly look like, I mean, store-bought. Yes, this would be a great grocery checklist. There's so many things you can do with this. You could even make a chores checklist for your kids.
That would be a good idea.
Like either a daily chores checklist, or, I don't know about you guys, but we'll go back to one for a second. But growing up, we had in my house what we called Saturday cleaning. And I feel like this sounds, when I tell people we had this, some people are like, yeah, we did too. Some people are like, no, we didn't do that. But my mom, we always had Saturday cleaning. So we would keep the house clean throughout the week. But then on Saturday, we would do more of like a deep clean. And us girls, because I'm the oldest of 3, we had to participate, and we all had things that we had to do. So that meant our deep clean Saturday cleaning was, we would scrub the bathrooms, the showers, the bathtubs. We would sweep, or we would vacuum, mop, all of that stuff, dust, you know, like a normal deep clean, but we compiled it all on Saturday, and we would do it before, our goal would be to have it done before like 1 o'clock, noon, 1 o'clock, and then we could go do whatever in the afternoon Saturday. So, and we still do that to this day. So I think this would be like a great Saturday cleaning or deep cleaning checklist. So many things that you can do with this. So I love this project, but we'll go back overhead and continue with the materials that we need. So we've talked about the cardstock, we've talked about the craft board. You are going to need light grip mats. This is just to cut your notepads out. Now I am gonna have 2 because I'm gonna have one going, and while one's cutting, I'm gonna be loading the other one with the second, and then it's like gonna be rapid fire for this, okay? Daphne asked, what weight is the craft board cardstock? This is about a kind of like 110-pound weight cardstock. So if you don't have this, you don't have to buy the actual Cricut craft board. You can buy a heavyweight cardstock in whatever color you want. So this is about 110 pounds if I had to guess. And the star of the show for today's project is going to be Maker's Magic. This is what is going, literally the glue that holds it all together. This is the star of the show. This is the secret sauce. This is what you're gonna have to keep your notepad together. So this is the sauce. This is the secret sauce here. So we do have Maker's Magic, and then of course we have a paintbrush to put it on with. The other thing that we have are these little binder clips. Now you don't have to be bougie and have cute ones. These come out of Sadie's desk. Y'all know Sadie's bougie. And I went and I asked her, I said, do we have like those black binder clips? She's like, I don't think we have any black ones, but I have these. And I was like, of course you would. That would be great. Susan even said a recycled cereal box. You could do that and use the inside of it, like use a recycled cereal box for this. That would work for the backing as well. So literally right here, those are our materials for our notepad. Super simple, right?
So easy.
I mean, it's, if there was one thing that you may not have, I'm not gonna say probably don't, but if there is one thing that you all didn't have, it would probably be the Maker's Magic. This you are going to find on Amazon. It is linked down below. You can purchase it on Amazon. You can go to their website and purchase as well. Either place, this is going to be the best stuff. Now, with all of that being said, I say let's go ahead and jump into it, y'all. Today is going to be, it's so easy. Like, I think your mind is going to be blown at how easy this is. What's gonna take the longest is cutting our files out. That's it. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop over to our share screen, and here we are going to show you what we have. Now, if you go to, let's just go to makersgonnalearn.com and I'll show you exactly how to get here. So whether you start out on this page or if you start out on our dashboard, we'll go to our dashboard. First of all, if you are new to our channel, this is what we call a dashboard. This is the hub of our website. I'm obsessed with it. You can go to your cut files, fonts, access to our Facebook group, our resource library, classes, courses, everything you can find within your dashboard. So we're gonna start out on our dashboard, and first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to cut files, and yes, Karen, we are actually gonna have our Cricut cut the pages out, so don't worry, we're not gonna hand cut these. We're gonna have our Cricut cut these out. So from your dashboard, first of all, look at these adorable new files.
So cute. Look at the record
can't.
ones. Oh my gosh.
First of all, I have not seen this new back to school one.
Oh my goodness.
I'm obsessed. Like, I want to do that. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to get distracted by all our files. So, what you're going to do is you are going to search notebook, and then from there, you're going to get to choose. Now, these are the ones that we have already pre-made for you. This is the one that I'm going to be using today, the notebook page 1. This one is also super, super cute. Like, look at that, guys. Is that not adorable? I love it. And then the other one is this one, which is also super cute. I think it's adorable. But there was just something about like a classic notebook page that I just really liked. So this is the one we're going to be using today. What you're going to do is you're going to click this arrow pointing down to download it. From there, you're going to double click it, make sure you unzip that, and then we're going to go back to Design Space. I'm going to cancel this. Yes, we're going to cancel the cut. cancel. Y'all, I was getting ready. We'll hide this for right now. And then from there, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to upload. We're going to upload image. You all know me, I love going from my Finder. This is the notebook page 1. We're going to drag and drop back into Cricut. We want to upload this as a complex file. We're going to click continue. And then we are going to apply and continue. Donna asks, is the pink background print or do you need pink paper? Donna, the pink background does print for you. You do not have to use pink paper. So just keep that in mind. You do not have to use pink paper. It does print pink. And then we are going to select the print and cut image and upload that. And then select it and add it to Canvas. And y'all, other than sizing, now you can see this boy comes in really big, really big. So all we have to do is resize, and that's pretty much it.
That's crazy.
It's that simple. We have made it that simple for you guys. If you want to make it simple, it can be simple. If you want to add other touches, you can do that as well. That is going to be completely up to you. So the size that we have is I'm pretty sure it's a 5x7, but let me double check. I'm wanting to say I did do a 5x6. Oh, I did a 4x6-ish. Actually, let me unhide this. Let's go here. And I'm going to select this one. Okay. So I have 5.5 by 4. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna hide this back again and then we'll pull this in. Hide, beautiful. Okay, so we are going to make sure this stays locked. We're gonna put our width in as 4, and that is going to be the size of our notebook. Did y'all see that? That's all I did. Let's go back. Select, making sure our little lock stays on because we want this to stay locked. And then we're going to the width, highlight all that, punch in the number 4, hit enter, boom. That's the size we need. Very complicated, right? I love it. Now, let's talk about if you want to customize some things that you can do. So we'll start out, maybe you have this as, maybe you might want to keep it as notes, or maybe you want to just add a checklist to this. So something you can do, this is optional. What you can do is we can go to our shapes in just a minute. Maybe it will pull up. So Joanne said, how much does it cost for a yearly membership? If you sign up for our 7-day free trial, and you choose the yearly membership route, I'm pretty sure with the discount that you're gonna be saving, I'm pretty sure it brings it to $197 for the year, which is a steal, an absolute steal. Okay, shapes, I'm going to choose a square. I'm gonna size this square down, and you can size it to however big or however small you want. And then from there, I'm gonna change it from a basic cut to a pen, and that's going to leave an open checkbox kind of thing. So after that, what you can do is duplicate it, and then just add in your checkboxes there. And I'll show you how we can, and we're just gonna keep duplicating. And what we can do, let me zoom in a little bit more because it's like not wanting to. So we're gonna keep duplicating, adding our check boxes. And then what you can do is select all of your check boxes, and we'll go to align, and we're gonna align them to the left. And so now they're in a very neat row, okay? So, after you've done that, and this is if you want to make a checklist, you can come in with a text. This is obviously going to come in. We'll zoom back out. we'll go to our fonts. Now, this is where you can choose what kind of font that you want. You can choose a sketch font. It really doesn't matter. I really like this typewriter font. Let's do that. I think this one's cute.
That's
so
adorable.
if you wanted to do like, let's do a chores checklist. So we'll do sweep. We're gonna size that down. And you can make it as large or as small, or if you want to leave it open and just write in your whatever you want as like a list, you can do that. But you can do sweep, and then we'll duplicate it again, and we'll do mop on this one. Bring it here, duplicate again, we'll do this one dust. But you all are getting the picture, right? Like you're getting where it's going. So, and then what I would do is I would have like my general chores. If you wanted to make a chores checklist, I would have my general chores here. And then I would leave a couple extra blank. That way I can add in my extra chores, because I don't know about you guys, but I have my general chores that I do. So that's just like general cleaning, clean the bathrooms, sweep, mop, dust, clean the doors, mirrors, you know, basic things like that. But we also like to add in extra chores each week, so that it's not chores you have to do every single week, but like clean the baseboards, or clean out something, like clean out the closet. You know, there's just little things that we like to do and add in at our house. So that would be a good thing, is have your general chores already done, and then leave some room for extra. But after you have done that and customized, made it however you want, what you can do is select everything and flatten it together. And that's it, guys.
Wow.
That's it.
That was so easy.
So easy. So if you wanted to make a grocery list, you could, what you can do for a grocery list, you can have like your general milk, bread, eggs, butter, you know, your general things. And then the last few places are check boxes. You can come in and leave them blank, so you can write in specific things that you need that week, like for certain recipes that you might be creating. So anyway, that is just what you are gonna do if you want to customize it, okay? From there, what I have found works best, especially for this size. Now for this size, I can only fit 2 of them on a page. So, but what happens is, let's say I duplicated this, we have 4 different things, and I go to make it, what it's gonna do is it's gonna put one of these pages on an individual page. Y'all, you know, I love to save space, and I'm gonna try every chance I get. So what I found was, if I turn it sideways, that I can fit 2 on there. But nobody wants to go in there and have to manually move that, go to this mat, move it to mat number 1, whatever. So what you can do is, we're gonna go to cancel, and I'm actually gonna delete these out. We're gonna start back from the beginning. What I have found works the best is, we are going to rotate this 90 degrees, okay? Rotate it 90 degrees. Then we're gonna duplicate it, pull it down, giving some room in between there, okay? And I'll zoom out so you guys can see it. So we have rotated it 90 degrees, pulled it down. Now what we're gonna do is select both of these and attach them together.
Okay.
That's it. Now what happens is, let's say I duplicate this 3 times or whatever, and we go to make it. Now you can see I have 2 pages on there, and it works perfectly. Like, I don't have to go and manually move everything.
That is
So
a crazy hack.
Right.
That is so good.
So that is why it is very important, especially for this project, to just go ahead and duplicate. I would rotate it 90 degrees, duplicate it, and then attach it together. That way you don't have to manually move everything around. Is this making, are we good? Is everybody on the same page? So I love it. Now, I'm gonna delete all of these because I have already printed quite a few pages. Y'all can see here. This is another thing that's gonna take a little bit of time, is printing all of your pages. So I have already printed quite a few of these. So I deleted those. I'm gonna bring back, and we'll go back to our share screen. I'm gonna bring back my original ones that I had. Can you change the matte color? Sure, I'll change it if you need me to. If that makes it better for you to see. Is that easier? So, now I've just brought these back in. What I'm gonna do, once you've customized, rotated, and attached, what we are then going to do is we're gonna go to Make It. Okay? Now, from there, you just have, honestly guys, you don't have to duplicate it on your mat however many times. All you have to do is do it once, and I'm gonna show you how I printed so many things. Now, it doesn't make sense, but just bear with me. So we have our one mat here. We've just got the one with the two on top, okay? You can change the notes. You would just have to cover that word up. You can't, because this is a PNG, you cannot, and let's just go ahead and talk about it. Let's go back. And I'll go ahead and just tell you guys how to change it real quick. Let me hide this because I don't want to change, I don't want to move those around because I already have those printed. I'll bring this one back in. We're going to add it to canvas. Sizing it, it's unlocked. I'm going to make sure I lock this. Sizing it back down to 4, okay? I'll zoom in and show you guys how you can change the word notes. This is what I would do, because you don't want to come in here and slice this out, this word. What I would do is I would grab a shape, a basic shape. We'll just grab this rectangle here. I would size it down like so. Now I know, just bear with me. If you wanted to make it the same color, there is a little bit like, see how it's a little off? There's a way you can do this by finding this hex code. Let me show you how. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to our Google Chrome because I do have a hex code edition. It's called a color pick eyedropper here. So what I'm gonna do, I have this Chrome add-on, okay? And if I have to, I will show you guys how to find the add-ons, but I'm going to grab this hex code. Oh, am I gonna be able to do it on?
You can always do it on the cut file on the website.
Oh yeah, I can do it on the cut file on the website. Beautiful. Okay. So here is your hex code. What we're gonna do is copy it. We're gonna go back to Design Space. With this selected, I'm gonna go to Advanced, and I'm gonna add in that hex code. And it still looks different, but let me see once I flatten it if it's the same. I feel like it's pretty close.
It's really close.
So what you would do is just take a shape, cover up the word notes, and there is not an SVG of this to further customize. So sorry, these are just PNG files. It's not an SVG file, but you would just cover that up and then flatten it together so now you do not see the word. And then what you can do is come in with a text, whatever font you want. We'll just keep this, and you can add groceries. Size it down. It's gonna be here, select it all, flatten it together. So, I mean, there are ways around these. If you don't want it to say notes, there are ways around it. So, just that is exactly how I would customize it, what I would do to customize. So this is how I do it. Now, Susan asked for 8.5 by 11. Could you fit 4 if they were 4 by 5? So I don't think you can, because it's not, you can't exactly, just because it's 8.5 by 11, Cricut does not allow you to go all the way to the edges. Does that make sense? So their bounding box, you have more room than you used to with the bounding box with Print and Cut, but you still do not have like completely to the edges if you want your Cricut to cut it. Now, if you want to download these, it's also one of those things, you can still customize it on Canva, but it's going to be different. But if you want to hand cut them and get more on one page, you could print it from Canva, but today we are just getting them, we're just doing them in Cricut. So this is what we're doing. We're getting 2 out of 1 page. How do you find that color grabber? I knew we would get this question, so let's just go ahead and I'll teach you how to do that as well, because it really is an amazing tool to use. I'm so picky with my colors. Like even looking at this screen, like I can see the difference in those 2 yellows personally. Not everybody's going to be able to see that. So I'm really picky about my colors, but what we're going to do is I'll show you how to grab that using hex codes. Is very important. So I would suggest using Google Chrome. Now from there, what you are going to do is we are going to we'll do this. So we're here. I'm pretty sure we can just type in Chrome hex code extension. Chrome hex color extension. Here you can see it's the Google one, hex color picker. You're going to select that, add it to Chrome, add your extension. There it is. And then what you would do, extensions, color pick. I think the one we just did was the hex color picker. You can pin it to your extensions up here. And then from there, we can go back, which I don't want to. I want to click off of this. Ooh. Let's do, I want to select it, exit off, there we go, beautiful. So we've selected this, and then what you would do is just come up here, whether you're using color picker or like this one is the eyedropper. We're going to, I like the color picker already. I'll just be real honest, this was a new one. Oh, there it is. And then you would select this, same thing, okay? Is this, are we good? Are we good?
I think so.
Okay, beautiful. Yes, everyone's been saying, use this, use that. Absolutely, you don't have to use 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. This is just what we did. If your printer prints on 12 by 12, you can do that as well and fit more on it. We're just doing 8.5 by 11. I have found that 2 of them fit best. If you're doing a 4 by, it's actually a 4 by 5.5-ish notepad. So 2 fit best on 8.5 by 11. It just made it easy. It's not super expensive. Cardstock is not super expensive. So that's what we're doing today. So we're going to go back to Design Space. I'm going to delete this one out. Delete. Bring this guy back in. We'll zoom out. Remember, we were at the Make It stage. We're going to go to Continue. Now, here is where it took me a minute to do this step, and I wish there was a simpler way to do this, because if there is, I personally I couldn't figure it out. I just wanted one mat, because I'm just going to be sending that same mat. I'm printing the same thing over and over, cutting the same thing. It's like an assembly line. So what I did is I would hit send to printer, select your printer, use system dialog. For this one, you can tell there is a difference between this white and the white on our notebook. So I did want to keep bleed on. Okay, always keep bleed on with this one. Select our printers. And actually what I did was, I think it's when you use system dialog, it doesn't let you do multiple copies at a time. But you always want to use system dialog because we want to make sure we turn on best quality print. So this is where it's one of those things you're gonna have to go back and send a printer, however many times, because we go to print, we pull this down, dialog pops up here, and it did not let me, see, it doesn't let me choose how many copies I want. Pages per sheet, border, two-sided, that's layout, paper handling, automatic. Can't choose how many there, watermark, we don't want a watermark, and this is just telling me the supply levels. So what I had to do, and what you all may have to do as well, is where I like feeding from rear tray, best quality print. While that's printing and I've got this pulled down, what I do is I go back here to printed, send to printer, use system dialog, print. It'll pop up here, feed from rear tray, best print. So now I know I've got 2 in the queue ready to print, and how you can check is if you go to your printer, you can see how many you have in the queue here. And then I'm gonna go back to Cricut, go back to printed, send to printer. And I know, guys, this seems very monotonous. Trust me, I know I didn't necessarily want to keep doing this either, but this is the only way I found that I could do it and not like go cut it, then go to the printer and do it back and forth, okay? So people are saying, can you do it from the make screen? No, you can't. Not that I know of. And like I said, if you do copies here, but you turn on system dialog, you can't control your copies. Like, it just grays them out. If you can do, I did update project copies. This is just what it's doing for me. If you can do it on your Cricut, more power to you.
Fabulous.
Fabulous. I just was not able to, and this is what I'm just trying to teach you what I did.
Just in case yours doesn't do that.
Now, someone said duplicate it several times. You can do that as well, but you have to go to each individual mat and like print. So I just found it best just to keep going back and printing and sending it to project copies. So from the make screen, we'll go back and we'll cancel. Yes, because I'll be able to print. Project copies. Once again, all that project copies is going to do is give you different mats. Okay, so watch. It's just going to give you different mats. I don't necessarily want all these different mats. I just want one mat because we're just doing the one thing multiple times. Okay? So you can do that if you want to, but it's not necessary. So now I'm going to hit I've already printed. I'm going to grab the other ones that I just printed, and I will be right back. So before we start cutting, we are going to learn how to calibrate real quick, okay? So we're going to hit cancel. Yes, I'm going to cancel the cut. With this specific project, with these being attached, it's okay for you to cancel the cut and come back to it, because if you keep it exactly where it is and you don't move it, it will still cut in the same area. So you're good to go. It's fine. Don't worry. So we're going to go to cancel. We're going to learn how to calibrate our machine together. Now, Cricut has moved calibration, so it is a little harder to find. And I don't know if you all follow us on Instagram or TikTok, but I did a reel a couple weeks ago, because I'm telling you all, I spent 30 minutes or more trying to figure out where to find calibration, and it irritated me so bad. I could not find it. Actually, before we go there, I'm gonna run out here and put some, no, there should be paper in the main tray, shouldn't there? Okay, don't have to do that. So what you need to do is up here where your account info is with the drop down menu, what we're gonna do, Lorraine, I've already saved it, we're good, we don't have to. But I'll save it anyway, just in case. We're gonna hit save. There we go, okay. So what we're gonna do with the drop down menu, you're going to come to your settings. So in your settings, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your machines. This makes no sense to me why you have to go to machines, but you have to go to machines. And then you have to go down here, you can see machine calibration. Now you have to select the device that you are going to be calibrating. Today we're going to be using an Explorer 3. So we're going to select Explorer 3 to calibrate, and then we're going to click Start. Okay? We are with the Explorer. The only calibration you can do with the Explorer is print and cut. Now if you have a Maker or a Maker 3, you are going to see a knife blade or print and cut. We're doing print and cut calibration for this. We're going to select print and cut. We're sending it to our Canon TS8100, and we're gonna click print. What that's gonna do is that is going to send it to our printer, the printer that you're gonna be using for print and cut. This is very, very important, okay? It's very important that you print your print and cut page from the printer that you plan on using for your Cricut. Does that make sense? We don't want to print it from a random printer that we don't want to use. We want to make sure we always print the calibration page from the printer we plan on using for our print and cut projects. Okay? So I'm going to go grab this really quick. Once you start seeing that the cuts are a little off, calibrate if you move your machine. One of the things is with us here at the studio, we will move, depending on what projects we make, we may have to move our machine. If we're doing sublimation, we'll move the Cricut off the table, put the sublimation printer on. If we're doing something that requires the Maker, we'll pull the machine off and put the Maker on there. So moving your machine may cause you to need to calibrate. When you notice that the cuts are off, you may need to calibrate. Really and truly, it's not a bad idea to calibrate, you know, once every month or so, just to make sure it stays right on the right track. So I would it's one of those things like just pay attention to your machine and you'll know when to calibrate. Okay, I think it's printed now. Beautiful. Okay, we will go overhead. This is what the calibration page is going to look like. It's a few boxes with lines and numbers and then lines and letters. So once it has printed, we'll go back to our share screen. We're gonna click continue. What you're gonna do is you're gonna place the sheet in the top left corner of your mat. So I'm gonna grab this mat here, and you're gonna place the page with the numbers on the top, letters on the side, in the top left corner of your mat. We're just gonna stick it down really good, okay? Beautiful. From there, we're gonna click continue. We are doing it on the Explorer 3. We are connected via cord USB. We are not connected Bluetooth, but you can still do this if you are connected Bluetooth, okay? So you are doing this with your fine point blade, and what we're gonna do is we're now going to load our mat into our machine. Susan asked, is there a way to clean your machine? Like for printers, you send a cleaning page to clean print heads. There's really not a reason to have to clean your Cricut that I know of. Okay, so now we're going to press play. And Deborah said that, I don't think I've calibrated since I've had my machine, and you've had it for 3 years. I mean, if your machine is still cutting correctly, you may not have to calibrate. Honestly, you may not have to. That is just going to be something that you just need to pay attention to. But I just know that this machine, the last couple times we've done print and cut, it has not been very good. Not been very good. So what it's doing now is it's registering everything, and it's cut the box on the inside. It's a little off. I mean, it cut on the black line. You do not unload your machine at this point, okay? Do not unload your machine. You just want to see if it has cut on the line. Now, if it is on, which I wish you guys could see, if it's on the black, then, but it's still a little off, you do not need to do basic calibration. That is the point when you need to do fine calibration. If it's completely off the black square, then you need to do a basic calibration, and then you'll go back and do a fine calibration. This one is pretty much on the black center square, but still not perfect. So we're gonna go back to our share screen, and this is exactly what it's showing you. So if it is off like this one on the right, that means you need to do a basic calibration, okay? If it is on the black line, but it's still a little bit off, then you need to do a fine calibration, which is where we are at. So we want to select yes. We want to do a fine calibration because this is the one that we are getting right now. And then from there, we're gonna click continue. Now what it's gonna do is it's going to cut every single line across the top and every single line down the side, and then we choose which lines cut the closest. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to come over here, and let me come to this side. We are going to look at these lines that cut across and down, and we're gonna choose which one cut, directly down the middle. So currently we're looking at number 10 and letter N. Number 10, letter N. So we're gonna come back over here to our share screen. Top line is going to be, we're going to select number 10, right line, letter N. Then we're gonna click continue. And now it's going to cut the other square on our calibration sheet. And this is what Ty was saying by taking it out to check. So what you can do is if you want to grab a weeding tool, you can take it out, and we'll even go overhead, and I'll show you both of these. Give me just a second. So overhead, you can see this was the first cut. Do y'all see how we have a thicker black line at the top? Like, it wasn't terrible. It would have been fine had we sent our notebook pages through, but then we look at this one and we see how it's an even black line all the way across. That's what a fine calibration does. Okay? So do y'all see the difference? Can they see the difference in those?
I think so, yeah.
So that's what a fine calibration does, and why it is important if you want to get very precise cuts. Okay? So that's how you do that. Then we'll go back to our share screen, and then it will ask you, are you satisfied with the cut? You can either select yes or no. We're gonna select yes because I think that is great, and we're gonna click continue, and now you are done with calibration and you can unload your mat. Pretty simple, huh? I think the hardest part with calibration currently has been just finding where it's at, really and truly. So we're gonna go back to make it. Since we have calibrated our machine, I've already printed. Now, back overhead, we have loaded the first sheet onto our first mat. I am cutting this on the medium cardstock setting. From there, what we're doing is it's a rinse and repeat process, putting this mat in our Cricut, sending it through, And while that's cutting, we are going to load our next page on a second mat here, so that when that one's done, all we have to do is switch them out. It's gonna take a few minutes for our machine to cut all of these pages for our notepad. Zakiya said I'm doing my own design right now. I love that. If I was doing this for myself, I would for sure do my own design. Like I would probably take, I think we have an actual like notebook page file on our website. I would take it, shrink it down to the size I want it, and then I would add in my own little cut files, put my name on it, like from the desk of Lauren, from Lauren's desk. And then I would flatten it all together. That's for sure what I would do.
I saw someone say that they could put a business logo on it.
Yes.
That would be so awesome.
A business logo would be great. Phenomenal. So once again, we're just gonna keep doing this. Okay? Motivation at the corner. I love that. I love that. What about print the printing if you have 3 printers, 2 for sublimation and 1 for stickers? I wouldn't calibrate my machine for sublimation stuff because you don't even have to use your Cricut really to cut out sublimation stuff unless you're wanting to cut it out like if you're pressing onto sublimatable HTV. But we don't calibrate our sublimation printers at all. No. I think by the end of this we will have, I don't know, you can do as many pages as you want. I think we have 10 pages or so, which would be like 20 sheets on our notepad. But it's gonna be up to you guys, however many you all want to do. So here, unloading, loading this one back in. This is why I like using 2 mats. Because I can then, like they just keep going. It kind of takes up my time while it's cutting. So I'm just gonna unload this one. Press play, throw that one away. We've got these cut over here. Lay them there. Boop. And then just keep adding these. I use 2 mats. Michelle says I use 2 mats also. Honestly, like if I'm doing, there was one day I had to do stickers for one of my friends. I was using 2 Cricuts and like 2 or 3 mats at the same time, like back and forth, rapid fire, getting as many done as I can. I'm a very big advocate for using 2 mats and like loading on one while this one's cutting and then switching out. Yes. Yes, absolutely. You could cut a magnet and put a magnet on the back. That would be great to have, so you could put it on your fridge. That's a great idea. There's so many possibilities with this project. So many possibilities. See, did we have any, oh, I didn't, oop. So we've cut 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, I have 10 pages with 2 on each, so that would be 20 pages for this notepad. Did we have any questions that I missed, Sadie?
Someone's asking, can you cut on 2 different Cricuts from the same design space window?
So not from the same window. However, if you attach, let's just say we attached these and we kept it on there and we open up the same project in a different window for a different Cricut, then you can print these all and then have 2 Cricuts going at the same time from 2 different windows. It is possible to do that. Medium cardstock. We've loaded. How, I was concerned with the idea of putting wheels on the bottom. So putting wheels on the bottom of your Cricut is not going to mess up calibration as much. We used to have a Cricut that had wheels on it. So the reason that we had to calibrate this is because we pick this machine up and like sit it on the ground. And then we'll pick it back up and set it here. And then it will be back and forth from the table to the ground. And it doesn't always have to be calibrated every time we move it. It was just, I could tell it was off, so that's why I calibrated. Moving it doesn't always throw it off, but if it's jarred an extensive amount of time, then yes, it might throw it off. So just be aware of your Cricut, and when you see it cutting off, or when you see it's cutting not correctly, then I would just do your calibration. So like I said, yes, this one is, this is what the most time consuming part of this project is, just getting all of these cut out. Really and truly, you could, if you have like one of those big paper trimmers, you could do that and like trim 2 or 3 of these at a time. But we just wanted to use our Cricut so that, but it's up to you guys, however you want to do it. How do you get it to keep cutting without well, I am pushing buttons. There's not a way to keep it cutting without pushing buttons. So we're gonna grab, after that cuts, we're gonna get our Maker's Magic, our paintbrush, and our little binder clips ready. So I'm trying to see where, I don't understand, like I know people are saying there's a remember my cut settings.
I feel like I've seen it before.
I've seen it before, and I just took medium cardstock off our favorites. We're favoriting that back. But there's not, it's not there anymore. Do you see it? I don't see it.
I don't see it anymore.
I don't either. Huh.
I feel like it used to be like a little check box.
It did used to be a little check box, but I don't see it.
Yeah, me
huh.
either.
I don't know. I don't know if like when Cricut updated, if that happened. I'm not sure, but I was trying to see it. Oh, Karen says you have to have more than one mat.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay, last one is cutting. Oh, snap. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to add our little thing for our craft board for the back.
The backer.
Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and add this to here, and then we'll go back and I'll show you guys what to do for our backer real quick. I got sidetracked with customizing our file. Yeah. It says it's under, we'll look. I just always click my materials because there's a lot of projects that I use different materials for things, so I've just always clicked the material that I need. Okay, so we're doing this. It's not, so Jessie said it's the box to click, remember the material said is under the pressure drop down menu. Okay, let's do something real quick. Let's do this. Let's be done. Now, this is what we are going to do. I'm going to detach this real quick. I'm not going to move this. I'm going to duplicate one of these. I'm going to pull it over. We're going to attach these back. And I'm going to change this. So I've duplicated this for a third time. I'm going to change it from a print and cut to a basic cut. Okay, and I'll change it to brown to show you guys. This is what we're gonna cut as our backer. All I have done is duplicated our print and cut notebook page and changed it from print and cut to basic cut in our operations. So now we are gonna have 2 mats. So now I wanna go to make it, and I want to go and see if there is, yes, okay. If you have 2 mats, it is remember my material settings. However, on our second mat, which why it defaults to 12 by 24 irritates me so much, which I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't have to change it, but I'm OCD and I feel like I have to. But anyway, so if you have more than 1 mat, then yes, you can remember material settings if you do it that way. But with this one, for our backer, we are changing it from medium cardstock to craft board. Okay, and we are just going to put this through, and we're going to cut our backer. And while our backer is being cut, we're going to put all of these together, and then the magic's going to happen. The maker's magic is going to happen.
The maker's magic.
Maker's magic.
This is when it starts to come together. I'm so excited.
Yes, this is exciting. Press play. Do-do-do-do. Okay. After that's cut, we are going to unload. We're going to grab the backer here. I'm going to add it to the back. Now, this is where I like to line things up, especially on the top, and we're going to go to one side. So we're going to make sure the top is even. And one side, just like that. Now we're going to grab our binder clips here. And you're going to clip as close to the top as you can. And without letting that go, I'm going to clip this other side here. So our binder clips are holding the pressure together for our notebook, and that's why it's very important to have those to hold this pressure together. Once we have clipped our binder, or clipped our notepad with our binder clips, we are going to grab our Maker's Magic. Oh no. There we go. Whew. Didn't think I was going to get it open there for a minute. And what you're going to do is we are dipping our brush in here, and we are just adding, we're going to add a couple layers of Maker's Magic to the top. And y'all, that's it. It's that simple.
It's so easy.
It is so stinking easy.
For each layer, do you have to do it thin layers, or are you doing thick layers?
I would not do super thin, but not super thick. I would do about a medium. I don't know how to explain it. Like I can see it sitting on top a little bit, but you do want to make sure that it completely dries between each layer, okay? So we have added our first layer. I would sit, let it dry. It doesn't have to be completely dry, like a complete cure of 24 hours or whatever, okay? Yes, you do want to do more than one layer. I think on this one, I'm wanting to say that I did 3, maybe 4 layers on this one. I would do 3 or 4. You can go ahead 3 or 4. But I will say this, the very last layer that I did pretty thick. So the first few layers you want to do thin so it dries pretty fast. Like this is already getting tacky right here. It's still a little wet. You can also use a heat gun to dry it a little faster, but then you're gonna come in and do a couple more layers. And this would be really good to, like, you know, do a couple of these little notepads at a time so that you come in and add layers, go do something else, add some more. We're just adding adding 3 or 4 layers to the top of our notepad. Now, after you add all of your layers to your notepad, you're gonna wanna let this sit for 24 hours or more, okay? I say 24 hours. We let these sit overnight and they were fine. I let that one sit overnight. So you're gonna leave the binder clips on while it dries and let it dry. And then what you're gonna do is, once you're done, you can take the binder clip off and then you have your notepad.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So 3 to 4 layers. I did the last layer. I let the first 3 layers dry pretty good for a couple hours, and then the 4th layer I did pretty thick on mine. Karen is saying you can use rubber cement. That will work as well. We just love Maker's Magic. We've only ever done it with Maker's Magic, and we're obsessed with Maker's Magic, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So that's it. It's very simple. Like I said, the most time-consuming part of this project is printing and cutting all of those different pages on your Cricut. That's the most time-consuming portion of this project. This is so simple to make and so customizable. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I think it is
cute.
Great little gifts to make for so many people in your life. Yes. Teachers are the first ones that come to mind for me.
Oh yeah, they would love that.
They would love this.
So I'm like just obsessed with this. I like rhinestones. I'm not like, let me put rhinestones on everything unless it's like Vols or like football, because I feel like I can be gaudy. This isn't even gaudy. This is like good. This is so cute. Like
super cool.
This is a small, first of all, so I'm gonna hold it out here. So this is what we're making. Let's go overhead and I'll show you guys close up. Are you kidding me? Look at this.
It looks so good.
I know, and even from like the further away it is, the more dazzling it is. I think it's beautiful. This is such an easy to achieve look without going through the hassle of rhinestones. And I wish, Lauren, can you hand me that other shirt? I'm gonna show you all. So I did some trial and error because originally I thought I'm gonna use Electrofoil on this, and I actually had to update the supply list for y'all this morning because I was like, oh my gosh, my Electrofoil supplies are still on there. Now this is the original shirt that I made. Look at this. I want to show you all. So this is HTV and Electrofoil. It's pretty. Don't get me wrong. Like, it doesn't look bad, but I just had issues. I'm going to put them beside each other so y'all can really get a side-by-side look at these. So this one, sorry, I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
This one right here, this is the Electrofoil. So originally, I had to go in here, weed out all of these little dots on this font. It was like such a hassle to do that. And I was like applying Electrofoil on top of the HTV. It was sticking in places that I didn't want it to. You can see there's like, maybe you all can't see that. It's like shiny around the black, like up here. It doesn't look bad, but that's not where I wanted my Electrofoil. And I was like, that is just not it for me. Like, it just wasn't working. And we were talking about this on the live, and someone said, and if this is you and you're here, tell me, I use the holographic mosaic iron-on from Cricut. And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? So I got on in the interwebs, and I was like, I'm gonna look at this stuff. I'm gonna show you guys what this is right here.
It feels so cool.
It does. It feels crazy. Look at this. Look, y'all, I'm gonna give you a close-up. Okay? Look how pretty. So what they've done here is taken a holographic vinyl and they've cut it into circles. So you can see in the back better the circles. And these give that rhinestone effect. And the reason that we want to use this is because it's just going to be so much easier. Like, you cut this like everyday iron on basically. It needs a little bit more pressure because it's thicker, but we don't have to go through the hassle of, like, can you imagine going through and weeding out every single one of these dots just to apply Electrofoil on it? No. We don't want to do that. So I'm going to show you all exactly how to achieve this look. So you're going to need the holographic I'm trying to think of the full name. Holographic, mosaic, iron-on. I don't know. It's
Alicia,
linked
is it
below
linked
for you
below?
guys.
Yeah, I was like, it's linked. You're
It's
good.
linked for you guys. And then I've just got a Comfort Colors t-shirt. You can really apply this to whatever type of shirt you want. This is just 100% cotton cropped Comfort Colors shirt. I've got a orange. This is a Tennessee orange. You can use whatever colors you want. And then I also have just a white. These are both Soft Flex HTV. Actually, this one is Soft Flex. This is just a regular white HTV, and I've linked them below for you all. And then I also have a standard grip mat, and I've got some washi tape and a measuring tape. So you really don't need a lot of supplies. You're obviously going to need like a weeding tool. Let me grab one. Just like a standard weeding tool will be fine. And then we can go ahead and jump into Design Space.
Woohoo!
Yes. Okay, so we are here in Design Space. This is my original design, but what we're gonna do is we need to upload the font Pharaoh. Now it's already on here. I'm just gonna walk you all through quickly how to do that because the tutorial is really not that super long. So we'll just go to our fonts. This is on the Makers Gonna Learn website. If you're brand new here, we are a membership-based crafting community, and so when you become a member with Makers Gonna Learn, you're gonna get access to all of these fonts and cut files. Let me get this logged in really quick. But today we're using a font called Pharaoh. This is one of my favorite fonts. Do I say that every time? Probably. But I just do. I just love this font. It's kind of retro, which is what I was wanting, like a retro football font. And you can even test out what word you want before you download the font, which is really nice. So you don't have to go through the hassle of like downloading 50 fonts and then just picking one. You can test it on the website before you actually download it. So it's not like bogging down your computer or anything. So I'm just gonna type out what I want, vols. I already know it's gonna look good, but I just wanna show y'all. And then you can see here, we get like a little preview.
I love the preview.
I know, me too, it's my favorite. So now I'm just gonna download the font. I'm going to double click this zip folder. And then, where'd she go? Here we go. So it's gonna pull into this .otf. I'm gonna double click that and then install font, okay? And now we're just gonna need to go back to Design Space and reload Design Space. So I'm gonna hit View, Reload, and then our font should be in Design Space for us. So I've just pulled in my word that I want, and I'm gonna go up here to my font. Now, if you go into your Cricut fonts, you're not gonna find it there. Your downloaded fonts are gonna go automatically to your system, and then you can just type out the name of the font, and it's gonna be right there. Now, I'm just gonna size it down for the time being. And let's look at our design again overhead. So I wanted to create something that kind of had an outline. So we have 3 layers of vinyl here. We've got an orange layer that's behind our holographic dots. We have the holographic dots layer, and then we have our white outline layer. So back in Design Space, we are just gonna need to create those layers. Now you can see right here, we have already done that, but all I did was select my text, okay? We're gonna go up here to offset. I'm gonna make, that's a little bit big of a gap. Let's do a 0.15 offset. That looks good.
That looks great.
I'm gonna hit apply. I'm not gonna click off of it. We're gonna add another offset here.
So you're offsetting your offset.
Yes.
Love it.
It's like a double offset. And then what we're gonna need to do is slice the offsets out from each other. So you can see over here, I've got these 2 right here. I've got one selected. You can see it selected over here. I'm gonna hold the shift key down, select the other one, and we are going to hit exclude, okay? And so now we have our, I'm gonna color code them just so y'all can like really see what's going on. Why did it do that?
Yeah, send it to the front.
Okay, hold on. Let's re-exclude those. Okay. When I select this, it's because I'm excluding it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not do that because I don't want to do that. So what we're gonna do instead is slice. I'm gonna select offset, we're gonna slice that out. And then you can see I've got some extra layers I don't need. I'm gonna delete those. Okay, now I can color my layers how I want, and it's not gonna turn gray.
Right.
So this vase, I want it to be orange. I like to keep my stuff color coded because then I know what needs to be cut out of what. While that orange layer is selected, we're gonna duplicate it because that's gonna be our holographic layer. I'm gonna change it to just like a light gray. And then our slice result, this outline layer, that is gonna be cut out of white vinyl. So I'm gonna change that to white.
Okay. It looks totally different when it's like a different color. You know what I mean?
know.
Like white, it makes it look.
Yeah, and even if it helps you, especially in the design process, change the color of your background to the color of your shirt. So we're doing a dark gray shirt.
Oh, wow.
So, and like, it's popping.
I love that.
It's popping. Yeah, Lauren's
love
giving
it.
chef's kiss.
love that.
I love orange on dark gray. It just
Yeah.
looks so good. So the only other thing, and if you all can spot the difference, leave it in the comments. What is the difference between this and this?
Oh, we've already had someone. Yeah,
Jill saw it?
She said,
She's on it.
why didn't you weed the O in between the L and the S, Alicia?
Oh, okay. That's not the difference that I was talking about,
Oh.
but that's a valid point also. So the reason that is the way it is because of the sizes of my offset, if that makes sense. So it just was closer together. I probably just used a slightly different number whenever I did my offset for this one. But like, that's why it's just a little bit different. So like I could have used like a 0.18 rather than a 0.15 or,
Yeah.
so it was a little bit skinnier, which gave us like a whole outline inside of that O. It's okay. For me, it's okay. For me, it looks fine. The other difference though that I was talking about is that this S and this L, they're like trying to cut through. And I don't know if it's this font in particular, but when I go to actually cut it, it was cutting my individual letters. Do you guys see? Let me zoom in so you can really see.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you see the black lines. So we talked about this a couple live streams ago, how you don't have to unite your script fonts anymore. Like Cricut does it for you normally. But for some reason with this font, when I went to cut it, it was cutting my individual letters, like where the black line is. It was cutting that and I didn't want it to. So it's an easy fix. You can just unite everything and it's gonna be totally fine. So all I do is select whichever one I want. I'm gonna go to combine and unite. And then you can see those lines disappear. And I'm gonna do that with the orange layer as well. Let's see. I wanna make sure I'm not clicking. There we go. I'm gonna go combine and unite. So now I know that it's one solid piece. I don't want any random cut lines on this, okay?
Yeah.
So that's all that we need. We just need those 3 layers. Excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and delete these. Now before we cut anything, we need to make sure that our sizing is right. So let's go overhead and we'll measure our t-shirt. I'm just gonna lay this out and let me see. What is it? I'm looking for the mini easy press.
Oh, is it in the drawer?
Oh, maybe. We have like ran out of mini easy presses. So
Lauren's go grab the
float.
mini. Yeah, she's go grab
Lauren's
that
gonna
for
get
you.
it. Okay, perfect. So what we're gonna do here is just measure out the area that we want for our t-shirt. Now, if you have a t-shirt guide and you wanna use that, you totally can. This font is a little bit weird in that, like, you can see it kind of sticks out. Thank you. It kind of sticks out over here. And so I like to more eyeball where this font goes in terms of like centering it and stuff. But we do just want to make sure that we are taking up as much space as we can. I like my decals on my shirts to be like as big as possible. I want them to be like filling up as big as, you know, that looks good. So I'm going to say for this one, you don't want to go too far because, you know, if we go on 14 inches, you've got to think, especially if a woman is wearing this, it's going to go off of the edges. So
Well, Cricut, you know, 14 inches for a regular 12 by 12 mat would also be.
it would be
hard.
too big, right? So I'm thinking like 9 inches
Cool.
will be good. Okay, so let's go back into design space. And I am just going to select both of these and let's go. It's already at 8.9.
Yay.
Heck, I mean, we can just round it up to 9 just to be finicky, but we're already where we need to be. And then what we need to do is just go to make it, Okay, so all of this is being cut out on heat transfer vinyl, meaning everything's gonna need to be mirrored. Everything needs to be mirrored. All of our vinyl needs to go carrier sheet side down. So let's go ahead and make sure to mirror all of these. And it's wanting us to start with our white layer. I'm gonna go ahead and select continue. And we are using an Explore today. Let me turn it on. And we can go ahead and put our white vinyl on our mats. We'll scooch this over. Okay. So this is just standard.
Just regular white HTV?
Yeah, just standard white HTV. I like the I prefer the soft flex when I'm doing t-shirts because it kind of bends and flexes with the shirt, which is what it's meant for.
Right.
But this works just fine. And it's only the outline anyways, so I'm just going to burnish this down and trim it off.
Yes,
Go
Vols. We've won one game.
Okay, before I pull it off, I'm gonna make sure that it weeded out correctly because I really don't wanna pull it up if it's not cut. Okay, beautiful. Now we are going to cut our orange layer. Listen, y'all, I'm using a little bit of a cracked mat, but it's getting the job done for me.
You're doing what?
This mat's a little cracked.
Oh, it's okay.
She's a little cracked, but
It's fine.
she works, you know?
Yeah.
I'll use a cracked mat for like a week. If it's sticky enough, I'll just keep using it. I'm like, whatever works, you know? They don't have to be thrown out yet. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one because we have different cut settings for our holographic vinyl, and I'll show you guys that. Go ahead and slide this in. Okay. Now, if we can go overhead, I'm gonna show you all, you're gonna wanna be careful when you're weeding this white layer, mainly because we're needing to keep the outline. So so you can see it better? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna pull this over here so y'all can see what the heck I'm doing. Okay. So, I don't want to weed out, and let me start so you all can be like, knowing what I'm talking about. I don't want to weed out the outline. I want to weed out what is inside of the outline. So I'm just taking my weeding tool and pulling up all these inside layers, okay? So we're just pulling this up, and then we're gonna pull up everything around it too. And I went ahead and turned my mini easy press onto the medium heat setting. So she is heating up right now. Okay.
Love it.
And then I just need to, I'm gonna cut off this edge over here because we don't really need it. Throw her in the scrap pile. And then we're gonna weed out this layer right here. And this will leave us just with the outline. I'm a really aggressive weeder. It makes people nervous, I'm sorry. Especially with HTV, I'm kind of rough on it. Okay. So then you're just left with this. Cute, right?
It's awesome.
Then we just need our orange layer. I'm like looking for my scissors and they're literally right here.
Kim says my mat is cracked too. I just turned it upside down. I love that.
Yeah. Reduce, reuse, recycle, people.
Yes.
Okay, and you can use a paper trimmer to trim this vinyl as well if you like to keep a good straight line. But we're okay with it this way. And then now we're just going to weed everything around it as well as the middles of our letters. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the middles of my letters. Just the O and the S.
Now, what do you think about weeding? Wait, so you weed inners first?
I don't have it. I'm not consistent.
Really?
I will sometimes weed inners first and sometimes I won't.
I find it fascinating. Let us know in the comments, do you weed the inside pieces first or the outside pieces? I am definitely an outside piece person. I feel like it's just easier for my brain to comprehend.
I feel like that would make more sense.
Yeah.
To do it the other
I think
way.
it's just fascinating to see someone do it not that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm very much just like doing whatever I feel in the moment.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have a consistent way of doing it. Okay, so we're just taking all of this stuff out. Okay.
Amanda says it depends. Okay, Gail says she weeds the small stuff first. I'm getting a lot of friends that also do outsides first.
I can see why you would want to weed the outside first, so you kind of have like a direction of where to go.
Oh my gosh,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Kelsey hit it. She said outside first because it gives you the quick gratification. Exactly. Denise said it varies for her.
Yeah, me too. It definitely varies for me.
Lauren, which one do you do first? Outside. Okay, Lauren also does the outside first.
Because, especially with that outline, outside first tells me the next layer has to stay in the layer inside.
Yeah, I love the outside. Just when you do the outside, it just like cleans up so much for you, so you can just like really focus in on what's left.
Right.
Yeah. So
Listen, that's cute, y'all.
That
That's
looks
cute, just
really
like that. That's
good.
cute. Okay, so but we're not done.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Okay, so I want to talk about this vinyl really fast because it doesn't come like this. It comes on a roll, and I don't know where the roll went because this is just like the end of the roll. But it has like a paper, almost like a parchment paper. Wouldn't you say it was like kind of a parchment paper feel layer? Just like you don't need it. Okay, just take it off. I was very confused because the instructions were like confusing. Just take it off. You don't need it. All you need is this layer. This just feels like a really thick HTV, and we are going to be cutting it from the back side as if we were cutting heat transfer vinyl. Now, there are two carrier sheets basically on this. And it'll make more sense whenever we actually go to peel them off. But you are gonna put this on a mat as if you were putting on heat transfer vinyl. So we're gonna put it shiny side down. So our holographic is gonna be looking at our mat. And I'm actually gonna use the bottom portion of this mat just because this is thicker and it is cracked over here. I'm gonna take this, there's like a little piece of tape on here. I thought I turned my easy press on. Let me turn it on really fast. I'm putting it on the medium heat setting. Okay. So not much different than regular HTV. And then I'm just going to line this up, okay? And where it's thicker, it's gonna try to curl up. This is where your washi tape comes in handy. I'm gonna tape this all the way on all four sides so that it's not moving when we go to cut it. So you can use painter's tape, masking tape, whatever you have.
Yeah.
Washi
something
tape's-
to secure it down.
Yes. Washi tape is just really good for
It's not going to damage anything.
right, and it's not like super sticky or anything like that. Okay. We don't want this to move, if at all possible. All right. And I did get this at Walmart. Like, we just ran to Walmart and got some the other day.
The t-shirt or?
The holographic vinyl.
Oh, okay.
Cricut vinyl.
At Walmart.
At Walmart.
No way.
Yeah, and I didn't know this, but Walmart has Caesar vinyl.
Yeah, they do.
Like, what have I been doing? I always order it from 143.
Yeah.
And I was at Walmart the other day, and I was like, that's straight up Caesar vinyl. They had it like all on sale. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? I need to get my life together.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's on here, and I'm just gonna gently braid this down. Now let's go back to Design Space and go to Browse All Material Settings. This is where we're gonna search for holographic. We should have a setting in here. Okay, holographic. There's a lot of holographics, yes. There's holographic iron-on mosaic, holographic sparkle iron-on, holographic sparkle iron-on mosaic. This is the one that I use, the holographic iron-on mosaic. So I'm gonna hit done. This applies much more pressure than just say regular everyday iron-on. And let me show you how I know that. So I'm gonna go back to Browse All Materials. Let's go to material settings, and I'm gonna show you all what everyday iron-on cuts at. So Normal heat transfer vinyl is at 113, okay? If we wanted to do the holographic iron-on, it goes at 268.
Whoa.
So the pressure is way, way higher, okay? So that's why you have to pay attention. Even if I chose holographic sparkle iron-on, we're still not gonna have as much pressure as we need.
Yeah.
So we're going with the holographic iron-on mosaic. I'm just gonna X off of this. And we're gonna keep it on default pressure, okay? And make sure that your image is mirrored, which we already did. And we're gonna send this through the cutter. Now this is one that you're definitely gonna wanna make sure that it cut before you take it off of the Cricut, because this vinyl is not cheap, and you don't wanna like go wasting a whole bunch of it. I wasted some and it hurt my soul inside. So oh no, my vinyl came up. Let's take that out and fix it real quick. I'm gonna have to tape my corners down because I think
It sounded like
it got caught on the little,
it was really thick.
the little blade. Sometimes these corners can get caught up, and we'll just run it back through. Hopefully that will keep it down, keep it secured. Okay. I mean, it looks crazy, but it's gonna get the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah.
All right, send it through. Making sure in Design Space I'm on my gray layer.
Correct matte, yeah.
Correct matte, all of that. Okay, let's see. if
What
this
color do you call this?
cut.
Crystal says she's on the website and there's 3 colors.
Okay, I've linked this below for you all. So select the one in the description of the video because there's like holographic sparkle. There's like a couple very similar ones and there's also square. So make sure you're getting the round one.
So this is the Mosaic Circles Silver.
Silver, yes.
Yeah, Mosaic Circles Silver.
Okay, I think that we're good. It's cut. So let's pull it out. And I'm going to trim off the excess because like I said, I want to save what I can because I would like to use this later on too.
Now, Alicia, tell me how this is weeding.
I'm about to show you because it was
Okay.
like tripping us up a little bit the other day.
Uh-huh.
I was like, is there an extra layer on here? I'm trying to cut this without cutting the design. Okay, I think I can see it. Yes, I can. What's nice is these circles line up, so I can just go kind of straight across here.
And have a perfect line.
Yeah. Okay, now we're just gonna be weeding off the excess. I'm gonna cut this little guy right here off. So I'm just weeding this as if I were weeding HTV, and you can see when I start weeding it, it kind of will tear. This is why you want to make sure that you get a cut all the way through because sometimes it'll kind of tear, and if it's not cut all the way through, it'll like rip into your word, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna weed off all this excess here, being very careful. Now you can see right here, it didn't cut great, but it did cut. I don't know if y'all can tell. Can you kind of tell where it's lifting?
Yeah, it makes me nervous watching it on screen.
It makes me nervous
know.
watching over here, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why you need to just kind of take your time on this. I'm bad for not taking my time, but I'm going to take my time on this one because I want it to be successful. So,
Would you say, like, just a few disclaimers, if this was even the easiest thing to cut and weed, you would not want to do an intricate image. Does anyone know why? If you did a small, intricate image, you wouldn't even be able to tell that it's rhinestone.
Right.
So notice, we picked an image where it's thick. We can
Yes.
see all the, the different layers and levels and things like that. Super, super important to be aware of that.
that's a good point to make. And so I feel like this cut relatively well. It could have cut a little bit better, but you can see that this material is kind of, obviously like the pressure needed to be much higher than normal everyday iron-on. And so if for some reason I felt like it didn't cut well, I could have sent it through the cutter one more time and it would have been perfect. But it cut mostly how I needed it to. But I am still going to be very careful.
And Crystal, if it's sold out at Cricut.com, guess what? We have it linked for you down below at Walmart, and it's in stock.
And they may even just like have it at your store and run and get it.
Yep.
That's why I like using the Walmart app because they'll tell me like what aisle it's on and everything.
Yes.
Okay, so we're just taking all this off. It takes a second. So you could do this on whatever word that y'all wanted. You could do it on just like a monogram, would be so cute. I don't know. If you guys create this and you're in our Facebook group, please post a picture. I would love to see
a monogram.
Yeah, a monogram would look bomb.com. I'm going to use a pen tool to get in the middle of this out right here because for some reason
So Donna says, which is better, cutting a second time through or adding more instead of default pressure? So Donna, when you're at the option to choose more pressure, here's what you need to know. It's one of those things you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So at that point in the craft, you haven't cut anything. You don't know how well it cuts. So with that in consideration, I would say I would rather cut it at regular pressure, test the weeding before I unload it, and if necessary, give it a little bit more to let it cut it through once again.
Yes. And then the next time, if you just want to go ahead and add more pressure, you can know like, oh, I'm going to need more pressure. And if you need to adjust that cut setting, you can go into your material settings and adjust the cut setting too.
Yes.
And that way, next time you go to cut it, you don't have to add more pressure or have to cut it twice.
And again, with these thicker materials, you want to be careful to make sure your blade is, fresh and clean, and there's no debris on it and things like that.
I'm just getting in here with this pen tool because sometimes the weeding tool which that's a very well-loved weeding tool.
It is.
Sometimes the weeding tool will pluck just the holographic pieces off. And I need it to like get under the plastic. I don't want to just take off those holographic pieces. So that's why the pen tool is just a very fine point needle on the tip of this little pin. And it allows more precision. Okay, that's everything. Look how cute.
Oh.
Hopefully my head was like not in the front of y'all the entire time. Okay, now we have all of our layers. What I'm gonna do is start with my white layer, okay? So I'm just gonna separate these. We've got all 3 layers. I already have a crease down the middle of my shirt that I can see. That might help y'all. But if you didn't, you can always take your shirt. This is just something that we like to do here to make sure our designs are lined up. I'm gonna take the shirt, fold it directly in half, and then take my easy press and just kind of press up here towards the top. And this is gonna give us a crease that's lining up with our tag so we know it's right in the middle.
Yeah, it's such a great hack.
Perfect. And you just need a little press with your little mini easy press. I had a friend purchasing a press and she was like, which press? Which clamshell press? And I was like, girl, get you a mini easy press. And she like wanted to get the 12x10 Cricut press. And I was like, no, girl, no. I said, do you know that I do Cricut crafts every day and I use this mini easy press?
It's hard to explain to people that are new why the mini easy press is goals.
She ended up getting a 9x9. I talked her down to a 9x9. But I was like, do not get a 12x10.
Granted, I have not used a 9x9 in so long, but I would use, I'll retract. I think we're all here in the office blessed by our clamshell.
We are blessed
that
with the
we'll
clamshell.
just turn it. I mean, our clamshell, y'all, it has like an extension cord on it. It's got a
It's on a rolly
It's on
cart.
wheels. So we love the clamshell.
Right.
I used to use the 9x9 so much before I got the clamshell.
Did you? Okay.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Then she probably made the right decision.
I think so.
Because she was like, the mini press just seems so small. I'm like, girl. Well, what are you making that so big? You're making onesies for your sister. I'm like, I got you. You just need a mini easy press. But anyways, she didn't get a clamshell. She did end up getting a 9x9 press. So that was probably the good happy medium for her. She'd been using like an old iron and it had holes in it and it just was not working for her. So, okay.
Anne, I'm so glad you were on the coaching call. We're so glad that you got coached today.
Yay.
If you're not in Inner Circle, you're missing out, y'all.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, I want to give you guys a little tip if you decide to do a vol shirt with this font. Because this tail comes out here, when I'm picking my middle ground, I do not measure that. I know that sounds weird, but what I'm saying is I like to fold my designs in half. So this vols, I'm going to fold it and crease it right here in the middle. And look, normally I would say take it this end to this end and then crease it. But where that tail is just kind of like an extra little swoop on the end, I'm not going all the way out there. I'm just kind of creasing it right down the middle here. And then I'm gonna line that up with the middle of my shirt. We're gonna do 3 finger widths down. If you have a t-shirt guide, go for that. Go ahead and use that. I just do 3 and it's fine. And then you just wanna make sure this is as straight as possible. Okay, this is just like a standard putting HTV on a t-shirt. Does that look straight to everybody?
Looks good.
Okay. Okay, and then we're just gonna take our little press. I've got it on the second heat setting on the mini easy press. And then you can tell when it adheres that they're almost like bubbles underneath there. Or it like takes the shape of the texture of the shirt, really, whenever you apply heat to it. So we're just gonna apply
My favorite tip when applying heat transfer vinyl is just to make sure that the bubbles are, you'll see like a little bubbles and that shows that, that vinyl is just attached to your fabric.
Yeah. And we are gonna do a warm peel, which means that we're not gonna let this cool down before we take it off. So right when you get done ironing it, you can just slowly peel this up. Now you don't wanna peel it up fast because if there are portions that have not adhered to the t-shirt, they will pull up and the vinyl will stretch, causing your design to look a little, iffy. But we've got just like that, beautiful. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do our orange layer. Now we can kind of use these little middles to help us line up, as well as our outline. We just wanna make sure that our outline is even all the way around.
There used to be a Cricut influencer, and I don't remember who it was, that used to say if you're doing layers, I never understood this. If you're doing multiple layers, like in a regular press, if you're pressing 1 layer, it would be 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're doing 3 layers, she would pretty much divide the 30 seconds between all 3 layers. And I just want to invite you, you could press this 3 times at 30 seconds each time, and your vinyl's still gonna be okay.
You're gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine.
Don't think about it too hard, y'all.
Yeah, so just get it attached, and that's it.
Now, I did, this Vols carrier sheet covers most of my white, but if it didn't, you can always take this extra carrier sheet
keep that
and kind of like
sheet
cover
close.
it. Yeah, you don't want to go in with your iron onto your regular vinyl.
Right.
30 seconds 3 times. You want to make sure it's always covered. Like I have a couple little places that are showing, but I'm not really ironing up there, so it's not a big deal for me. But yeah, don't think about stuff too. I think sometimes we get caught up in the logistics and like the rules, and y'all, this is crafting. Don't take it so seriously.
Right.
I mean, just it's fun. It's supposed to be relaxing, and that's what, we're here for. So peel that up carefully. Beautiful, cute on its own. Cute on its own, but we're gonna razzle dazzle this, okay? So now you're just gonna need to line this up on here. Okay. This one takes more time to line up.
Yeah, this is like the one.
Yeah, this is what you want to spend the most time working with. Okay. And it's not super sticky, so you can kind of adjust. All right, and then we're just gonna go in and apply our heat. I wish I could tell you all the best way to know that it's adhered, but honestly, I'm just gonna press it on and then kind of lift it up and test to see that it's adhered. That's the best way that I've done it.
Well, with new material, that is a little trickier. It happens.
Right.
And it's so thick, it's hard to tell.
So it takes a little bit more time and pressure and heat, but I didn't turn the heat settings up or anything like that. And it does not work on a it does not work on a hot peel. So you kind of have to let it cool down, but not all the way. It was like a medium peel or like a lukewarm peel. Let me see what happens. Yeah, if I start to pull this up, it's trying to pull up my little holographic guy. So I'm going to let it cool for just a second. Does anyone have questions so far before I pull it up?
Oh, let's see.
Everybody?
Anne says maybe use puff on the white layer. Would that work? Ooh, what's your thought?
I would do puff after.
Yeah.
I would do orange, holographic, and then add your puff outline.
Love that. Great question.
Because the puff is gonna indent if you like go to reapply heat over it. Like you can overwork puff vinyl so quickly. I would not do it. But I did think about adding this this rhinestone to the puff, and I thought I'm gonna try that another day because I wanted to do like a basic tutorial, but I think this would be really fun on puff. And even just the outline in puff would probably look really cute.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll experiment with that. Okay, let's see how it's going. Okay, now I'm pulling off this first layer. Whenever you pull it off, it's gonna feel weird. There's another layer of transfer under this. This is a double layered carrier sheet. Okay, I've never worked with anything that has this, so I was very confused. I was like showing it to Lauren, and I was like, why is it like hard? It looks like there's another sheet under there, and there is. So I'm just going, honestly, I don't even need a weeding tool. I'm just gonna kind of lift it up on the edge here so y'all can see it looks done, but it's kind of hard and stiff.
Hold it up next to the camera because it looks shiny all the way across.
Can y'all see like, yeah, like it's kind of got like a plasticky layer on it.
Like you can tell there's something.
Yeah, and when we take it off, you can tell such a difference. So I keep grabbing the weeding tool, but honestly, your best bet is just to go in here. Look at this, y'all. Like, oh, wow. MG. It's so pretty when you pull it off. And then I'm just going to pull it off all these. Make sure you get it all. It may tear. These is just so pretty. And I'd like to try some other colors as well. Like I'm wondering what orange would look like on the orange HTV, like an orange holographic. Mm-hmm. Oh, an opal. That would be pretty.
Super cool. So these are not actual rhinestones. So this is just a regular, special vinyl that Cricuts came out with. So it will, work just like your regular heat transfer vinyl. Considering the rhinestones actually went on to a heat transfer vinyl layer, none of our rhinestones actually touch the fabric. We're not really worried about it because we would just assume it would last just like any other.
Yeah.
So great question.
And y'all, we've done some rhinestone tutorials, but they take special files and you have to have very specific sizes of rhinestones, and there's like extra materials. And so we don't specialize in rhinestones, and so we don't do a whole lot of content on that. But we do specialize in cricketing. And this is Cricut vinyl, and I feel like this is such a more tangible way for you all to achieve a very similar look.
We love it.
Are you kidding me?
Like you made that.
In real life,
did you pay $50?
No, girl. I did not pay nothing.
So cool.
Like I can't. It looks like real rhinestones for me.
It 100% does.
Like okay, let's show it on camera one. Shing shing shing
Love
shing
it.
shing. Okay, and that's it, y'all. That's it.
Bring it over. I want to touch it. I want to feel it.
It's just so light.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, it's literally like you cut out all these little dots.
This is working smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying?
1000%. I mean, look at it.
I'm wearing it next weekend.
Heck yeah. I'm so excited.
I love it. But for today, we're going to be doing an etching tutorial.
Super exciting. New-ish way of etching.
I want to put it in quotations.
Etching.
So if you guys stay tuned, we're going to show you exactly what we mean by that, we are going to be doing a little mini Design Space tutorial. Lauren thought that the image we used today was a file, and I was like, no, I use fonts and images.
So I literally, like, I think you all are going to, your mind is going to be blown at this etching technique.
Yes.
But I also think that the real meat of this tutorial is going to be from learning how Alicia puts all of her, like, uses all of her different fonts and pairing fonts together to create what I thought was one of our cut files.
Yeah, so little Design Space tutorial in there for you, because the etching portion of this is so fast and so easy. It's gonna blow y'all's mind. You know, etching normally is a long, drawn out process.
Right.
Not today. Not today.
Not today.
So anyways, okay, this is what we made in yesterday's tutorial. These are 3D sublimation. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't know if you guys are really, in real life, these look amazing, okay? They're gorgeous. They're like the prettiest tumblers I've ever seen in my life. So these are gonna be in the new files that we're releasing in the sublimation course. So if you already have purchased it, you are going to get these 3D sublimation files. They're beautiful. I'm obsessed. So I just wanted to show you those because they've been sitting around the office and I was like, I think they would really love to see those. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump into Design Space, and then we're going to go over the supplies after I show you all this little tutorial. So let's hop over into Cricut Design Space. I don't know if this computer has updated Design Space. It looks like it has. So Design Space is updated. Things are in like weird order a little bit. Nothing crazy. It wasn't a huge update or anything, but I'm going to open up the file. This is the one I created, but we're going to be recreating this. So I actually used fonts and images from the Maker's Gonna Learn membership and created this image. So this just goes to show you, you don't have to use pre-made images. You can use some and kind of manipulate them to make them look how you want. So what we're gonna do is go get all of the fonts that we need and the images that we need. So let's go to makersgonnalearn.com. I'm gonna close out some of this stuff. Okay, so we are logged in. Once you get into the membership, if you're brand new here and you're like, what are you talking about? We are a membership-based crafting community. And whenever you sign up for the membership, you get access to these cut files and fonts. There are thousands upon thousands of all of it. So I'm gonna go into our cut files and we're gonna get our little football first, okay? You can use whatever football that your heart desires. We've got lots of different options. So I'm just gonna search for footballs.
So real quickly, the 3D sublimation tumblers, the video got uploaded yesterday, correct?
Yes.
On how to create them?
Yes.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Miss P was asking.
Okay, yes, it came out yesterday. So I downloaded my little football right here. It's called American Football. The links are all in the description if you all need them. I'm going to open this zip folder, which is gonna unzip my folder. This is gonna give me access to the images that are inside of the folder. So you gotta unzip it to open it up. I'm gonna double click it and you can see I've got a PNG and an SVG here. I am doing a cut image, so I need an SVG. So I'm just gonna keep that there and open up Design Space. We're gonna go to Upload on the left panel here. Go to Upload Image. And then I can go back to my Finder and there's my SVG. Or if you're using a Windows, you can go back to your downloads, your recents. That's typically where it's gonna live. And then I have my cut image and I will upload that there. So select the image and we're gonna add it to our canvas, okay? So here's our football. I like to get all my elements before I start designing and then I can adjust as needed. Now we need to get 3 different fonts. So let's go back to the Maker's Gonna Learn website. I've got our fonts right here. Now I know which fonts I want, but typically if you're looking for them and you're like, I really want a script font, you can go to this font style drop-down menu and you can see there's script, you can see our newest fonts, monograms, yada yada. There's lots of different options. But today we're gonna be using 3 different ones. And the first one is a newer font. It's called Giddy Up. I have not gotten a chance to use this font and it is so cute. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. I love Giddy Up.
Me too. It's one of my favorites. So we're gonna download that. It's going to pop into this zip folder. We're going to unlock the zip folder, and then you're going to need to double click this .otf. So you can see Giddy Up right here, double click and install. Then I'm going to go back to our website. The next font we're going to need is Plain Jane. Okay. This one's super cute. Hit the download button, double click it to unzip it, double click it again and install. Excuse me. And then we've got our third font, which is called Goldie. I don't know why I cannot remember the name of this font.
Is Plain Jane a newer one, or have we had it?
I feel like a couple months ago we got it.
Like, Plain Jane is a really good
Blocky.
plain, because sometimes you need plain.
You
font.
do. You do. It's a font that I would go back to a lot.
Oh, for sure.
And use a lot because it's like clean. It's gonna cut nicely because there's no like pattern in it. So yeah, that's a good one. Okay, we've got all of our fonts. Now, I just want to let y'all know on a little secret, and I don't know if it's a secret or if I don't know. But normally, whenever you upload fonts, you can go to View and Reload. Let me save my project first. I'm gonna save this. Normally when I download fonts, I go to View and Reload, and all my fonts upload into Design Space. Okay, we've been doing this for like 2 years now, and it's been fine.
Right.
That's not working now. Let me just show you. Whenever I go, I'm gonna type out.
Normally, Classy only does that when
If
the
the
font
font's
is
not installed. So that font is Goldie. Let me show you all. I'm gonna select this. So typically, if I go to my system fonts and I type in Goldie, my font's gonna be here. Okay, it is here. Let me see if the other ones are here. Let's just look. Giddy Up. Yep, it's there. Let's see if Plain Jane. I don't know if we had that one installed. Yes, it worked. Okay. So on my computer, the past 2 days, it's making me, whenever I upload a font, it's making me completely close out Design Space and then reopen it.
Are you in beta or are you in?
I shouldn't be in beta. I shouldn't be. I probably should double check that. But anyways, if you're having issues, like after you install the fonts, if you're refreshing your Design Space and your fonts aren't coming into your font book in Design Space, just restart Design Space. That's where I was going with all of that. So anyways, all of our fonts are in here, so good for us. I'm going to be using Goldie for our first font. And I'm gonna actually move this out of the way and zoom in a little bit here. So Classy until kickoff. Are y'all ready for football? I feel like August 1st, it's like, okay, it's go time.
It's go time. Recruitments should be about finished. Fixing to start. I mean, I get it.
I'm ready.
There.
What is the first Vols game is September 1st, I think.
I think so.
I'm really excited about football. I just love football season, like that time of year.
I think it's like the crisp fallness, like the crispiness of the air of the morning, but then it warms up about kickoff time, and it's just something about it. I don't know.
I love it. It's just a good time of year.
So Gloria said that hers has been having issues too. Chrissy says, I find Design Space laggy recently.
Yes.
I personally tend to have the most issues with Design Space when Cricut does something new. I.e. come out with a new machine or try to update some stuff. Is when it tends to get like laggy until they work all the bugs out. Yeah. So that's probably what it is, just FYI. And then Kathy says, beta, ? Y'all speak in a language I don't understand. So sometimes, or a lot of times, what will happen, beta is like a test version of Cricut Design Space. So
like when they do updates.
So when they do updates, and sometimes beta doesn't always give you, sometimes beta is a lot more laggy than the live version. So what happens, without trying to get too like scientific with you guys, but what happens when they roll new things out, or when before anything is released, not just Cricut Design Space, you have an alpha version, so the first version, which is just tested in-house. And then you have a beta version, which is then sent out to
a limited
amount of users to try it out, and then they go on with the live version. So you can change Design Space to a beta version in your settings if
Manually.
manually if you
Yeah.
want to.
So sometimes we're like functioning in the beta version when we're trying to keep up with all the newest updates.
Yeah,
But I try to switch out because it's glitchy sometimes.
right.
So, okay, so I've got this line of text, this line, and then this one. So we've got Goldie, Plain Jane, and then Giddy Up and our football. Now, kickoff is on 2 lines. All I did was after kick, I hit enter and put off on another line. But you can see this huge gap in between here, and I really do not like having those gaps. So what I will typically do is select the text box. I'll go to advanced and ungroup to lines. And this gives me the freedom to move that bottom line of text wherever I want. And then right here, I can kind of bump these up so they fit nicely. I always, whenever I'm making designs, especially with words, I try to make the important words bigger. So you can see classy and kickoff are much bigger than until, because until is like not really relevant. I mean, it is to make the sentence, but classy is like, okay, classy, I put it in a script, and then kickoff is like, yee-haw. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that was kind of my design. If you guys are wondering my design thought process, that was it. And so now I'm just going to stretch this football a little bit bigger, kind of the height of the text, and I just tilted it a little bit. But I don't love that the text is just right overlapping all of this. So what I am going to do is move this guy to the side. I'm going to select all of this text, and we're going to add an offset.
Now this is where I really, really, really want you guys to pay attention.
Yes.
Super important to pay attention at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't want it. You can see this blue outline. This is where our offset's going to land. That is way too big for me. I'm going to do like a 0.15. Even that's a little big for me. Let's do 0.13. Oh, that's perfect. Actually, 0.1. That feels better.
That feels right.
Yes. So now what I'm going to do is hit apply. Okay. You're like, what are you doing? Now what we're going to need to do, I'm just going to drag our little football over here, just nestle it up right behind our text. Okay. While my football is selected in my layers panel, I'm going to select my offset layer. Okay. I have both layers selected. And then we're going to go slice. Are you about to say something?
Nope.
Okay. And now I'm going to get rid of all of these slice results. Now you can see over here in the panel where everything is living. Okay. This is what you're left with. So you can see, we can see our text much better now, and our little football is out here. Now the only other thing that I want to do with this image right here is, do you see these little dots like in between the letters? I don't like that. So I'm going to select just my football, and I'm going to go to my contour function down here on the bottom, and I'm going to click on those, and that's going to get rid of them on my canvas. Okay, you can see they're lighter than the other ones, and then we're going to X off of that, and that is my whole image. So now the only thing that we need to do next is make it a cohesive image. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. What I'm going to do for this specific image is select everything and attach it. Okay, I'm just going to attach everything. So now you can see under this attach, everything is all together. We could also technically unite it, but it's six one way, half a dozen the other. So I'm going to attach it. Now, before we cut anything, before we do any of that, I'm going to need to make sure that my sizing is correct. So let's go overhead. I've got my wine glass. I've used a stemless wine glass for the other one. This is just a stemmed wine glass that we had. Can y'all see that good? Okay. Now, working with wine glasses is different because there's a curved surface. Now, we're not using stencil vinyl like ordinarily we would use stencil vinyl or permanent vinyl and etching cream. We are using a type of adhesive vinyl today. Okay. So I'm going to be needing to measure my surface and keeping in my mind that we are putting vinyl on a curved surface. So there's potential for bubbles and stuff. So we don't want to be measuring from the very top all the way down here. That's not where we want to measure. I want to stay up near this flat surface as much as I can to prevent bubbling around the edges of my vinyl. So I'm going to try to stick with like honestly, I'm going to start my 0 right where I would want my vinyl to start. So I'm pulling my 0 line right there and say, let's not go any taller than 3 inches. Okay. So back in Design Space, I've got my image selected. It's locked, and I'm going to change my height to 3.
So while she is also doing that, I know we've had a lot of people that are, yes, love the hacks. Some people are saying, I'm lost, totally new, rookie. So this is if you are a complete rookie, what we have done today in creating this and pairing fonts and everything else is a little bit more of I would think, on the advanced side of Design Space. But the good part about this is you all can always go back and rewatch this as many times as you want to get it figured out.
Yes, for sure, for sure. So if I sped through that a little too fast, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. But you can go watch it, like Lauren was saying, as many times as you need to get the hang of it. Once you do it a few times, especially this technique, I feel like it's very easy to catch on to.
Yes.
Like after you do it, you're like, oh yeah, okay. Basically all we're doing is creating an offset on our text and then slicing the offset out of our image. Okay, that's the simple way to put it. So now I just resized my image. Everything is attached together. We're 3 inches in height. And now all we need to do is go to make it. Now I'm going to hide. I'm just going to actually delete our old image. This was our old one. We'll just delete him. Okay, so now I'm going to go to make it. All right. Now, before we go to cut anything, let's go over what you're going to need to actually etch this, because we're about to start using the secret product we haven't told you about yet. So let me show you all. This is the original one that I made. Okay, it looks beautiful and etched, right? Like, I feel like this looks perfectly etched with etching cream. This was not. So we actually used permanent frosted Cricut premium vinyl. This is just like an opaque vinyl, y'all. Let me show you what it looks like when you kind of peel it off. So it is Cricut brand. I don't know that there's other brands I'm sure there's other brands that sell this opaque permanent frosted vinyl, but this Cricut brand is really good. I'm trying to get the edge up for y'all so you can see what it looks like.
But this is an absolute great way to get the etching effect, especially if you are sensitive to chemicals.
Yes, yes. And with me being pregnant, I feel like this is a great alternative for someone. If you're a pregnant crafter or if you have other sensitivities, you can see this is the frosted side right here. So it's still like a little see-through, but it gives that perfect etching effect. So all you're gonna need. It
even kind of feels like it has it has the same similar feeling to etching.
Yes, it does. It has
a texture feel.
Yeah, it's not smooth like normal vinyl. It's very much a textured vinyl. So I just need a small little section of this. You are gonna need I won't say need. I will say need lightly. You should use a strong grip transfer tape to transfer this vinyl. I think because it's a little bit thicker and because it's textured, the strong grip works better. But I'm using a medium to strong tack transfer tape. And this brand, let me tell you, I don't use this a lot, but it felt stickier than the other stuff that we normally use. Frisco Craft. This is from Frisco Craft. If we can go overhead, y'all can see.
Is that not the HTV transfer stuff?
Yeah, very well could be. It doesn't feel like our medium tack.
Okay.
But this is what I used, and it worked really well.
Okay.
I could have been better off using a stronger Cricut transfer tape, honestly, but we didn't have any on hand whenever I was making it. So this worked, and I was like, you know what? We're going to use what we have because we tell y'all to do that all the time.
So we've already had the question that you knew you would have.
What?
Is it dishwasher safe? Or is it washable?
Okay.
So what we're gonna do, because we have been super busy little bees here in the craft room this week, what we will do is I actually may go run and do that now. Stick it in the dishwasher for you guys.
Yeah.
And then come back to tomorrow's live and we'll show you the results.
Yeah, or we can stick it in after the live, whatever you want to do. I meant to do it this morning, and I even put it on my to-do list. I put it in my journal, and I was like, I'm gonna put that in the in the dishwasher so we can test it. But y'all, I did a testing 10 plus vinyls video. I don't know when that comes out. Thursday?
I don't know.
Okay, we tested and dishwasher tested 10 vinyls. Okay, that's coming out Thursday, I think. So that was a pretty cool video.
I mean, really and truly, rule of thumb, it's already been said in the comments, handmade equals hand wash. That is going to up the longevity. Yes, you're going to be able to wash it. You're going to be able to hand wash it for sure.
Okay, so I put my vinyl on my mat. I put vinyl side up. So you can see this is the backer for this vinyl. I've got the vinyl side up, okay? So this is just standard adhesive vinyl. And then back in Design Space, you can see our design fits in this top left corner. And then we're going to select Continue. Okay, I'm using the Explore 3 today. And with this being a Cricut brand of vinyl, they actually have cut settings for this specific permanent frosted vinyl, which is really nice. Okay, maybe. Let's type in frosted. Here we go, here we go. Okay, premium vinyl, frosted, opaque. This is exactly what we're using. I'm gonna hit done. And we're just using a fine point blade on default pressure, and we can go ahead and load this into our Cricut. Okie dokie, I'm so excited for y'all to see this. I love this. This is hands down, my new favorite way to etch, hands down. Because I don't want to fool with like chemicals. I will say like real etching is definitely going to be a little bit more permanent.
I'm on the real etching train still yet, but I'm also not pregnant.
Yes, and like I'm still going to want to do real etching projects.
But this is beautiful.
Yes.
And I was shocked how well it did come out, I will say that.
Yes, I am too. It really looks very real. I'll show you all again a close-up of what we are making. All right, my stuff cut. I'm gonna make sure before I pull it off of my mat that it cut. So I like to do this all the time. I just take a weeding tool and try to pull up some of my centers of my letters and make sure that they have cut before I remove it. Because if I unload it and try to cut it again, it may cut off a little bit. And if I needed to cut it again, I could just hit the go button again and it would go. But it cut just fine. And so now I'm gonna weed everything that I don't need. So I'm just gonna start up here in the corner.
Ours is not estimated to get here until the 4th.
Ugh, that's not fair.
I know.
Well, when is that? Is that Friday?
Yeah.
I won't even be here. I gotta get my head in the screen because I can't see. I can't hardly see to weed this. So I'm just so sorry you have to look at the back of my head for a second.
I'm not seeing it yet.
Okay. All right. That's weeded. So y'all cannot see that. I'll hold it
All
up.
you can see is white.
Sorry, yeah, I know. I love Cricut vinyl mainly. I don't love all Cricut vinyl, but some Cricut vinyls I love because of the backer is not paper, so it doesn't stick to my mat. Just a little thing.
I don't know if you can still see.
Still? Okay. Just a little bit? Okay. I think there's some centers that I didn't pluck out.
Tina says why?
So I'm cleaning my surface with rubbing alcohol right now to make sure that it's completely clean. You need to do this with all surfaces before you apply vinyl. And I've got it sitting on a burnishing tool. This is just holding my cup kind of in place. And then I'm just gonna cut a small piece of this transfer tape. This is very possibly heat transfer tape, but you know what? It works for me.
While it may not be, I don't know. While everybody, I know that I feel like a lot of people are saying, oh no, why not a Maker 3? We don't necessarily, we still love a Maker 3.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. Please don't take that the wrong way. However, when you're looking at the price of a Maker 3 and you're looking at the price of an original Maker, if you've not bought one, and now if you plan on using smart material, then yes, you have to get a Maker 3 or an Air 3.
But y'all know how we feel about smart material.
But smart material is, meh.
Yeah.
What
right.
you looking for now?
I need a burnishing tool. I'll just use the one I'm using. So I'm gonna burnish this down really good on the front, and then I'm gonna flip it over and do the same on the back. This is why strong grip transfer is gonna come in good handy for y'all. If you've got it on hand, you won't have to burnish as much. Okay, so just burnishing it down. What I'm gonna do is I am going to trim around my design very closely. Okay, and y'all will see why here in just a second. I'm gonna leave like maybe a 1/2 of an inch all the way around. And then what I'm gonna do, before I go to apply this is our little wine glass vinyl application hack. I'm going to cut slits, little tiny slits all around. Now, y'all are probably like, why? So whenever you apply vinyl to a curved surface, it likes to create these bubbles, and it kind of places the letters in like weird wonky spots. But these allow me to pull everything taut without creating more bubbles, if that makes sense. So I'm just cutting little slits. Now I want to use all of these little pulls to pull it taut, but I like to have them already cut. That way whenever I get it onto my cup, it's already cut all the way around. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I've got my wine glass. Can y'all see? And then I'm just gonna pull my backing off, and everything should come with my transfer tape. So be very careful. It gets a little crazy when you're trying to remove this backer and you've got all these slits though, so just be leery. Maybe, here we go. Now, don't do me dirty like this, transfer tape. Hold on a second.
What's happening?
It just won't come off of the backer.
Oh, the vinyl one?
Yeah, it doesn't want, it will, because I did it. I done it, and it worked just fine. I may start, sometimes I like to start, like I'm gonna start with this football edge because it's a longer, smoother edge. And sometimes it's good just to get a little start. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Come on, Bobby. So now what I'm going to do is line this up. I'm kind of making sure that everything is straight based off of the top rim of the glass. Okay, and then I'm just gonna kind of apply this in somewhat of a taco method. Okay, so I'm just pushing down this middle, and then I'm going to work my way out. Okay. Now, I'm just working this side out first. All right, and then I'm gonna work my way over to the left side. The more you do these wine glasses, the easier this is, but it can be kind of wonky at first. And so your transfer tape will tend to kind of bubble up, but it's okay because it's just the transfer tape. As long as our design is going down somewhat flat, we're all good. And we can also go in and fix any bubbles that we have, and I'm gonna show you all how I do that as well. So I'm gonna apply it with my finger, and then I'm gonna go in with a burnishing tool and try to lay everything down really good, okay? Like I said, if the transfer is bumpy, no big deal. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remove our transfer tape, and I can already see some areas that are gonna need some help. We can fix those. Okay, and so I can go in with my finger and work out any bubbles any small bubbles. Now there are going to be areas like this and the O where I'm going to have to take my weeding tool and kind of get up under there. Try to be very careful and not stretch your vinyl when you're doing this. But you also want to get that flat. So I like to kind of lift it up and work out the kink, okay? Got to be very careful not to stretch it. So this is probably more of a downside to not using etching cream. But once you get good at laying that vinyl down, then you won't have as many issues. You can even take your burnishing tool and go over some of those bubbles. So I am just fidgeting with this O. I don't love how it looks. But it's on that curved surface, so you can know that's why it just didn't land right. So I'm trying to pull it up without stretching. You gotta be very careful because you will stretch this vinyl out so easy. Just pulling it up, pulling it up. This whole edge is jacked up. Okay. And then I'm just gonna flatten it back down with my thumb. Okay, and then you can go back in with your burnishing tool. Make sure everything is down. And there you have it. Now the O, I'm not super satisfied with that O. I could always recut and reapply though, which is great. The great thing about this vinyl, it looks consistent too. Like sometimes when you etch, if the glass is not good, you'll have inconsistencies in the etching, but here you're not gonna have as much. So can y'all see that good?
Yeah.
And that's it, that's it. Okay, love it. Here.
Anyways, hope you guys are having a good day and are ready to craft. We are gonna be making a multi-layered HTV t-shirt for Valentine's Day.
Now, this
So
is
cute.
something that I feel like everybody wants to know how to do.
Yes.
It can be intimidating, but y'all stick with us because it is not as intimidating as you think. And this is something to have in your back pocket to know how to do.
Yes, and I think just looking at this t-shirt, if you saw the thumbnail, and I'm gonna show you all close up, looking at it, I think that's what's intimidating about it is because there's so many layers and you're like, how'd you get those colors there? I'm gonna show you all, it's so, I sometimes don't like to say it's so easy because then you go and have a hard time doing it and you're like, but it wasn't that easy for me. What I do want you to feel like is that you've got support from us and that we are breaking it down for you step by step. And if you watch the video and you're still confused, you have the ability to go back and rewatch this video at any time. Okay, so this is what we're making. I'm gonna give y'all a close-up. This is a multi-layered HTV vinyl project. How stinking cute. Am I a good central area, Courtney? Okay. Beautiful. So we're going to be using some glitter today. We're going to be using these other solid colors. We're going to be stacking some of these letters. I mean, it's just too cute. I can't. I want to eat it up. I love it. So you're going to need a few simple things. Obviously, you're going to need some HTV. Now, you know we always encourage y'all to use what you have on hand. These are the colors that we're using today. I'll link these below for you all. And then I will also say I linked, and I'm just saying this because I want to be upfront. I linked this color and I'm like 90% sure it's the right color. So I think it's called cashew or something. We already had this, and when you buy these, sometimes they don't have the name on them. So this was like the one I linked is like the closest thing I could find on the website, but it still didn't look exact. So just let that be known. Make your own judgment there. But we are using a pink glitter, and then we've got a white, a pink, and this yellow color, as well as a black. These are all heat transfer vinyls, meaning they need a heat source for the adhesive to activate, and then it will apply itself to whatever substrate you're using. Today, our substrate is a t-shirt. So I'm gonna sit these to the side. I have a gray shirt here, and a lot of you all like to know the makeup of the shirt, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is 100% cotton, okay? It needs to be washed, especially cotton if you're going to be putting HTV on it. If you apply HTV to a 100% cotton shirt and then proceed to wash it, it will shrink your vinyl up, okay? It will shrink your vinyl up. It's going to look lumpy. It's not going to be cute anymore. So you want to pre-wash. I know there's like speculation on it's not really that big of a deal. If you're using a material that's like, I would say more of a synthetic material is not as important.
Right,
Wouldn't you agree?
Right. But my question, or one of the things that you do need to be aware of, I would assume, is some cotton shirts will say on there pre-shrunk cotton.
Yes, that's a good point.
So if it's pre-shrunk, if it says that it is specifically pre-shrunk cotton, then I think you could be okay with getting by with not washing it. But Alicia is 100% correct. If it is, if it just says 100% cotton, it's not pre-shrunk. Cotton will shrink once you wash and dry it.
Yes.
So you do need to try to wash your cotton shirts so that when it does shrink, it doesn't like wrinkle your vinyl up.
Yeah, and it will ruin your shirt. So like it'll be really cute before you wash it. You'll wash it and you like don't want to wear it anymore because it looks weird. I got a really cool Mickey Mouse shirt for Disney World and washed it and it ruined. And it was like, I was like, what the heck? But it was from Etsy. So someone hadn't pre-washed their shirt. And I was a buyer, so I was not happy.
You didn't even make it.
Yeah, I didn't make it. I was a buyer. This was in 2020 before I used a Cricut. So anyways, make sure to pre-wash your shirts. If you're still unsure, if it says pre-wash and you don't feel comfortable, wash it anyways. Who cares, you know? So this is just 100% cotton shirt. I do have a lint roller. You just like to have a lint roller laying around your craft room. It's just one of those things that's a necessity. I don't know what's on here, but I tried to get this off. It's like a fuzz in the material. Oh. So got my shirt, got my lint roller, my HTV. You're going to need a burnishing tool. I'm using a Cricut Mini Easy Press because you know that I swear by these for all of my HTV needs. Honestly, who needs a heat press? Not me. I'm going to use a Mini Easy Press. Especially for t-shirt projects, that's just my personal preference. A lot of people really love the bigger Easy Presses. Listen, that's your agenda. If that's what you want to do and that's what works for you, go for it. I feel like I get more precision with my Mini Easy Press, and that's why I love it so much. So that's what we're going to be using. I do have a standard grit mat here for our HTV. That's typically what we use. And then I have a heat mat, okay? I never knew how much and how important these were. I thought it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can just iron it on there. These help so much. I wish I could just like show you a comparison, but just trust me, these work. These are like, do what they need to do. So if you don't have one, you can still complete this shirt, but a heat mat is helpful. You want.
Okay.
So this image is on our website, and I want to say it's called Fry. Let's go. Fry what, Courtney?
Fry cartoon with Stanley.
Fry cartoon with Stanley. There you go.
Like 7 more coming out next year.
Y'all, there's 7 more coming out, and they're like, what? We've got shamrocks, disco balls.
We have people saying it's a girl, it's a guy.
We have peeps. See, some people thought it was a guy. See, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, listen, before we go look for that file, I just need to take a moment. If you're making Valentines, I know our scratch off Valentines were amazing, but if you're like a print and cut girly or guy, look how cute these are. We just put these on the website. Surprise for Valentine's Day.
Surprise.
I'm obsessed with these. They fold into little records. Super easy, y'all. We don't have a video for them, but you can make these so quick and easy on your own.
We might need to add one in.
Do what?
I said yet. We might need to add one in somewhere.
I know. I'm like, should we? I was gonna make a TikTok about it, but our little Sadie's sick today. She's out. She's our TikTok girl. We added these, and then we also added these. We do have a tutorial coming on these little handwriting print things. Okay, so those are brand new. Just want to show you guys. So what do we say? Fry with Stanley, fry guy. French fries.
Oh, I knew Carol would love those handwriting, those files that we've added too.
Oh, yes.
She said, OMG, I haven't seen those handwriting files.
Yes, they're very, very cute.
Also, I think our fry person, I just think it's just a fry baby. Just a fry
A fry
person.
babe.
A fry babe.
It is a fry baby. It does feel like a fry baby.
Yep. It's not a girl, it's not a guy, it's just a fry babe.
It's just a babe. Okay. So now that we've determined that, we're going to download this. So just hit the little download icon. It's going to pop into a zip folder, which we're going to open up. That's gonna unzip our file, and then you can see here we have an SVG, which is a cuttable image. Now, if you wanted to print this image, you would just have to flatten it, and I'll show you how to do that. But let's go ahead and upload our image. So go upload, go to your Finder, and we're gonna click, drag, and drop, and then we're going to upload. And so now we have it right here, and we need to select it and add it to our canvas. And he's a little big. He's big there, big boy. Anyways, so we got our French fry person in here. Now let's go get our font. This is one of our new-ish fonts. It's called Funky Record. It is adorbs. So I'm just on our website. I'm gonna go to our fonts. You can type in the font. Also, anything that I'm mentioning is linked in the description below for you all. So you can just snag it there rather than going to search for it. And then we're just going to click the download button, and then we're gonna open the zip folder. We're gonna double click it in our Finder and then hit install fonts, okay? And then we're gonna go back to Design Space and save whatever you're working on, okay? Save it first, and then we're going to reload Design Space. And this is gonna allow Cricut to recognize that new font that we downloaded, and then we can use it in our design, okay? Now our font's in here, and we can check by hitting a text box, and you can type in whatever you want. If you've got something more clever than Fries Before Guys, listen, it's your shirt. You can put whatever you want on it. I'm gonna go to our system fonts. This is where all of our downloaded fonts live. For some reason, when you download this font, it puts a 1 in front of it. So it's gonna be your first font. Okay, so I am going to download this font and change my text to the Funky Record. And like I was saying, there's a 1 in front of Funky Record whenever you download it. So it'll be like right at the top of your list. You probably won't even have to go look for it. Now, for sizing purposes, we are going to need to measure our shirt. But before we do that, let me show you all how to get this right here. I'm going to show you how to get this technique, and then we'll resize everything together. Okay, so we've got this situation right here. I'm going to go ahead and change this to black. I want this to be our black offset. So this is kind of giving it that like drop shadow effect. And then what I'm going to do, I've changed it to black, make sure it's still selected. We're just gonna hit this duplicate button up here on the layers panel. And I'm going to change this to this pretty pink color. Okay, so this just gives us that offset. Now, if you're like, I want it to be curved like you have it, you can leave it just like this. If you want it to be curved, let's delete that top layer. We're gonna curve it first and then duplicate it. So I'm just going to select that underneath layer. We're going to select curve right up here. It says curve. You can go this way or this way. I personally think this way looks better. And then you can just resize it. And you could look, you can go all the way around if you're feeling crazy, but we don't want to do that much.
Feeling cray-cray.
If you're feeling cray-cray. And then that's pretty good. And then if you want to do that offset, you're going to do the same thing. You would just duplicate it, and we will change the color to this pink, and there you go. Now we're going to actually be applying these as separate layers whenever we go to make the shirt. So the fact that they're not attached or anything right now is totally fine. Okay. So let's go overhead and measure our shirt. Oops. Are you saying you want like an outline on this? You can add an offset to your words if you would rather do something like that. I would shrink it. And you could do like a pink offset. Is that what you mean? That's actually kind of cute. But we'll do our...
I do like that, but I really like the drop shadow too.
Me too. The drop shadow gives me the vintage vibe that we're going for. That's why I like it. Okay. So I've got my shirt here. Now, when you're measuring t-shirts, you don't want to go all the way to the edges because it's just like, you got to think if a kid has this shirt on, like you're not going to be really seeing on these edges right here. So I always kind of measure just a roundabout, like I give myself, I don't know, like a 2-inch leeway on the edges. So about 7 inches wide. And then I try to focus where I measure this part kind of up towards the top of the shirt. Like I'm not gonna make my dimensions all the way to 11 inches. Like that's just crazy. So we're thinking 7 inches wide by like 7 inches tall. That's like my working area. You know what I'm saying? We don't want it to be gigantic. So,
And this is all going to depend on what size shirt you do.
absolutely. Like if you're doing a onesie, it may be even smaller.
Or if you're doing
a big shirt.
a big shirt, like a 2X, it's going to be bigger.
Right. So I'm just going to pull in a basic square and we're going to make a 7 by 7 square. I'm going to make it light gray and we're going to send it to the back. So this is our t-shirt template. And that's how we like to design our stuff. Canva. I've been learning about Canva today. Cricut does have templates that you can use, but I don't personally like to use those. No, none of us really use those here. We just like to use basic shapes. It's easy. I can grab it and go. It's just the easiest way for me to do it. And then what I'm going to do is fill up this little square with my design. So you can kind of play around with the dimensions and how big everything is, just like so. All right, I mean, that was easy. That's all it took. What do you guys think? It's so cute, right?
That's the easy part.
This is the easy part. We've already made the file for you. You don't have to do all that crazy stuff. What I'm gonna do now is delete this. I'm gonna delete this one because I need it to be out of the way. I want you all to see what's going on here. I'm gonna delete this square too. And then we'll hide. We're just gonna hide this square because we don't need it. That was just our template. We can just hide it, okay? The next thing that we need to do is go in here and make everything. Now, what I like to do, Lauren, if this were you, would you attach your pink to your pink? You would?
Actually, I would attach my black to my black.
I'm thinking black to black, but not pink to pink.
No,
because I don't know
pink
which
to pink, but I would attach black to black because I would start with my black layer and build
Yes.
from there.
Yep.
So I would attach my black drop shadow of my words, and I would attach the black layer of my SVG.
Yes. So we're going to attach just that drop shadow. And then don't select this because that's the whole French fry, okay? Hold your shift key down and we're going to select just the black outline of our French fry, okay? Let me make sure. Okay. So we just want this. Now look, this is our black layer because if I hide it, it goes away. That's creepy. If it goes away.
That is creepy. That's creepy.
So we just want this layer and this layer. So what I like to do is select one layer, hold my shift key down, and then select my other layer. I'm gonna attach my blacks together. So these are just my black layers. Why did it do that? I know why it did it. Let's undo it.
Because it's still attached.
Yes.
You have to detach it.
So we're going to, it's grouped, first of all. I think it's just grouped. It's just grouped, which is weird that it did that because it's just grouped. Normally it's if it's attached, it would do that. But anyways,
It's okay.
ungroup your French fry first and then go and grab that. We're going to hold the shift key down, grab that black layer, and then we're going to attach.
And then it looks normal.
Yeah, so it should look like this after you've attached your black layers. If it does not look like this after you attach your black layers, you've skipped a step.
Now pull the black layers away from it so they can see what it looks like all together. Okay, so that's
see?
what your black layer should look like.
Yep, so we're gonna be cutting all of this out together. This is gonna be our coloring book. This is our guideline. We're gonna fill in the blanks, okay?
That is a perfect analogy for this, is acting like your black outline. That is your coloring book. And you're gonna add your colors to your coloring book once you're done.
Yes. So, and I'm gonna show you guys why you need to lay your black layers down first, because I didn't. I'm gonna show you why you should here in just a second. So everything's been sized. When you're making shirts, make sure you're checking your sizes. Put a sticky note on your Cricut if you make a lot of shirts and you need to remember. I'm bad for like just making stuff and like literally not even sizing it at all. I just make it. I think yesterday me or Courtney one did that. Or Courtney, it was a card. She made a card. She was like, I didn't even resize that. Luckily it was the good size. It just worked out for us. But so I need to change my default mat size because it keeps bringing them in as 24-inch size mats. I'm going to change these to 12 by 12 mats, but you can see here every single layer every single color is on its own mats, okay? The reason that we did not connect these pinks is because I don't know when I'm gonna do that pink layer, if that makes sense. I guess I could have technically done it first.
Well, so what would have probably ended up happening is you would have ended up cutting away the words from
Like
the frog.
separating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking I'm just gonna leave it separate. It's fine. So I have put everything on a 12 by 12 inch mat, but we are using heat transfer vinyl, which means that we're gonna need to cut our vinyl from the rear side because the carrier sheet is on the front side. So when we apply our HTV to our mat, we put it carrier sheet side down or shiny side down a lot of times, and then we cut the image out of the vinyl side. So I need to mirror my HTV. You always mirror HTV, okay? So you can just go through here and select mirror on each of these before we go to the next screen. And then I'm just gonna start up at the top. We're gonna continue. And I'm using the Explore 3 today, and we're gonna be cutting this on everyday iron-on. Now, not all of these are everyday iron-on because one of them's glitter, so make sure you're paying attention whenever you're cutting. But we're gonna start with everyday iron-on. I'm just gonna move my shirt and get our standard grip mat. Okay, and we're starting with white. So you don't need a lot, honestly. Like, I've just got this scrap piece here. I'm just gonna line this up to the top. So in Design Space, you can see that it's cutting on this, you can see that it's cutting on that top left corner. Typically that's where it cuts, but really you can move it. Like if you needed to move it to a different area, you can move this anywhere. But since it's on that top left area, we're gonna put our vinyl on the top left area, and we've got it shiny side. I don't know if y'all can tell if that's shiny. Shiny side down, okay? And our image is mirrored. So then we're gonna feed this into our cutter. Do I have my iron on? I'm gonna go ahead and put my iron on the second heat setting. Oh, it made a weird crunchy sound when it went through.
I know.
Why'd you do that? Okay. I'm just cutting off the area where it cut, you guys. You can't see it, but I can.
You have your glyphs for each font already in like Silhouette that you can just choose from, that you don't have to copy and paste from your font book.
Beautiful. Dang, Silhouette knows what's up.
But I'm trying to see where you would go to curve your text if you do curve it.
Okay.
Okay, if she knows how to
good,
curve,
okay.
I don't, but then what you would do once you're in Silhouette, you would just take your black outline of your fries, and if you do the drop shadow of the curved text, you would create compound path for those two. And then that would keep it all together, and the rest you're still just gonna cut separate.
Yes, beautiful. Okay, I am putting my black, this is my black layer, shiny side down, lining it up. This is our bigger
right.
layer.
You pop it in on
Are y'all talking about Silhouette?
Yeah, so if you are using a Silhouette, you choose your shape. So you would like put an oval around or a circle around your image, and then you pop that text onto it, and it snaps to the, and it actually snaps to any shape you want. So you could have like a zigzag.
Yeah.
You can like actually go in and draw a curve, like very much like Illustrator.
Yeah.
You draw your curve and you snap your text to that line.
Honestly, Design Space was one of the first places where they had like a curved text feature.
Right.
Which made it so easy. But then you're limited to your shapes too. But most of the time people just do the art shape. But before it was always, you drew a shape and then you would snap it to the line. Okay, we're about to cut out the black portion, so that's gonna take a minute. Excuse me. I'm gonna weed my white while that's going. So we're weeding off everything we don't want here. Okay, so we're not weeding out the design, we're weeding off the excess vinyl. This is an awful weeding tool. Should have grabbed my Maker's Gonna Learn one.
I think I see it right back here. Also, yes, you always mirror your design if you are using heat transfer vinyl. So if you are not using heat transfer vinyl for your project and maybe you're just creating the sticker to put on something else, you're not gonna have to mirror. But if you are using heat transfer vinyl, you do have to mirror every single portion of this, every single color.
I want to use this little moment to show you all if you want to do this on like printable vinyl, if you wanted to make stickers, how you can flatten it and print it. So what I'm going to do is open up a new window. Did you guys know you could do this? Go File, New Window, and you can just open up a new thing. So I'm going to go to My Stuff, and we'll just make a new project because I don't want to interfere with my cutting process. And I'm going to upload that image again. So we're just going to add our little French fry baby to our canvas. Oh.
Because then you can teach them how to change it.
Okay, girl. Courtney just had a great idea. Courtney says we should change him to blue. I'm glad we had this talk about if it's a girl or a boy.
So if you want it to be a boy,
It can be whatever colors your heart desires, okay? Listen, we're gonna have 3 girls. You can make a whole little sticker sheet of these and it would be so cute. But if you wanted to do blue or whatever color, you can go over here to your layers panel and alter these colors because this is an SVG. Now there are ways around it with a PNG as Lauren has showed you all before. But let's say we wanted to have a blue.
no, not that blue. Go to advanced.
We want
I like
like
that blue.
a vintage pale blue, right?
Yeah.
Cute. Okay, for the other part, I'm gonna select this one and go a little darker.
A little darker. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
cute.
I
Let's
like
zoom in and look at our French fry guy.
Oh, I like him.
Him's cute. And then, I mean, listen, you can get crazy. You can do whatever colors that you want. Let's try purple. Not that one. Oh, man. Ah!
What'd you just do?
I want you to see what I'm doing. Okay, let's do a purple.
Ooh, you have the whole thing selected. Go back.
Lordy day. I gotta slow down. That's my problem. Okay, let's select it. Go to your layers panel and select in the sub layer so you can just change the portion that you want. And I want to do like a pale purple. That's cute. And then the dark layer, I'm just gonna select that pale purple again and just go like a little darker. How cute!
That's cute.
I'm obsessed. Okay, and listen.
It kind of looks, do you remember, I can't remember what commercial, but it was like a retro commercial where it was like a gang of little cartoon characters.
I feel like I've seen what you're talking about, but I can't put my finger on it.
That's what that looks like.
It's so cute. They need to be a mascot for something.
Yes.
Okay, can you contour out the eyelashes? I don't think so because they are
attached. I mean, you can slice them out if you really wanted to.
Which layer are they attached to?
The black layer. And you'd have to zoom in and like slice.
I'll do it for you. You want me to
Do
do
it for you.
I'll do it for you. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Okay,
you
this is
just
what I would do.
believe.
If I didn't want eyelashes, if you don't want eyelashes because you're making a boy, even though men have eyelashes too, I'm just saying.
To contour out the eyeballs and then contour out everything but the eyeballs.
Okay, Courtney says that we should contour out the eyeballs and then contour out everything except for the eyeballs. Okay.
What?
I know what she's saying. I'm going to show you guys
Okay.
how to do this, okay? First of all, we need to go start from the beginning. Because I don't want to confuse you guys. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say that you want to contour out the eyeballs. The eyelashes, not the eyeball. We want it to have eyeballs. We don't want the eyelashes because we're creating a boy. What I would do is ungroup it, first of all. And then this is the layer, right? We want to duplicate it, right? Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of guys on
And then here, I'm just going to duplicate this one again just to make it easier. And then we're going to contour out everything. No, that won't work, Courtney, because the lashes are connected to the eyeball. They're connected.
Yeah, because then you're gonna just slice them off with an oval.
Well, that's what I was going to do from the beginning. I see what you're saying. Okay, okay. So let's go. Should I just click on them here?
That looks so weird.
Hold on, everybody. And then I need to slice them out with an oval here. That's your idea. Okay. And then we're gonna go grab an oval and we're gonna turn it to 90 degrees.
And just make it the exact size of the eyeball.
I'm gonna change it to a guide. This is gonna allow us to see what's behind it. And I'm gonna zoom in even more. Okay, and I'm gonna unlock it because it's not a perfect oval and I need to make it wider. So we just want that red line to go right along the edges there. Okay, we are improv design space in here.
Improv, for sure.
Improving hard. Okay. I think it needs to just rotate a hair here. Can y'all see what's going on? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down?
Yes.
This is what you, okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna shrink it up just a hair. All right, then select the guide.
And slice.
And slice. Now watch. Okay, and then you can just
duplicate it.
Duplicate it, and look, there you go. You got two boy eyeballs.
Two non-eyelash eyeballs.
Two bald eyeballs. And then, yeah, you would have to contour out these eyes again.
No eyes.
No eyes for you, sir. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, boy, cowboy.
That's a cowboy right there.
Aye. But then you have to get it lined up with the layer behind it.
This is why he should just have eyelashes. And then you can, and that looks pretty good to me. I'm just going to attach it, and there's my little man, okay? He's cute.
Now get rid of the black layer of that purple, or the blue one real quick.
Okay.
And pull him over. And see if he...
Gonna have holes for the eyelashes.
Oh, we didn't think about that, you guys.
Darn it.
Oh, we were so close.
So close, yet so far away.
I can't do it on a live stream. But if
No,
I figure it out after the live stream, I will. Because I will. I can figure it out. I gotta use my brain. Okay, and I don't want to get off track too far.
Yeah, we can't get off track.
Anyways, if you want a boy one, you can get the outline there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'll make a little, I don't know. Let's just carry on.
We'll just carry on with our other stuff. Back to the other window.
There you go. Okay, our black is cut out. Before I remove it, I'm gonna make sure that it cut by just taking my weeding tool and like peeling up some of that vinyl. It did cut, so we're gonna remove this. I'm gonna go ahead and take the vinyl off, and we're gonna keep cutting. I like to cut while I'm weeding, so like to keep the process moving. And Cricut is telling me to cut my French fry color now. So remember, shiny side down. Excuse me, shiny side down. Make sure to burnish it really good so it stays where it needs to.
Also, by the way, if you are lost, please don't feel lost. That was even very involved for us, and
It was a side tangent.
Yeah, it's a side tangent, and we're back to layering HTV.
We're back.
The easy part.
Oh my gosh. Like, chop, chop, you know? I don't like to sit there. I already don't like to go get my nails done. I'm like, I just want to have them done. I don't want to get them done. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm just cutting off the portion. I know I cut really good straight lines for you guys.
You do. Beautiful.
I know. I'm really good at it.
I'm
Thanks
like
for telling
impressed
me.
by your straight line cutting.
Okay, this is our pink layer. This one's white on the back, but it's still heat transfer vinyl. This is Caesar Easy Weed. This pink color, I don't know where it was from, but it was not working good. So I'm hoping and praying this Caesar Easy Weed is better. I just got it in the mail today, so it's fresh. Everyday iron on.
So fresh and so clean.
It is. I'm gonna go to edit. Do you all see, this is personal preference. I always like to cut everything like right in this left corner. I'm just like that. I'm gonna move it and hit done. And we're gonna cut this on everyday iron on. And then we're gonna load it in. While that one cuts, because it'll take just a second, we're gonna go ahead and weed our Frenchy fries. Okay. This also reminds me of Pals. When I said Frenchy fry, this kind of reminds me of like the Pals vibe.
Well, not everybody here knows what Pals is. Pals is a very East Tennessee thing.
It is. They have, if you're from East Tennessee,
And if you
know
ever
Pals,
visit East Tennessee,
it's the big building with a giant hot dog and a giant cheeseburger and a giant drink on
we
the
love
front
our
of it.
Pals.
Oh man, it's so good. Listen, my mom, she turned 50 this week, and she loves Pals. She goes there every morning. I didn't know that they didn't have gift cards. They only have Pals Bucks.
Pals Bucks. Yeah, so you give them $5 and they give you 5 Pals Bucks.
Yes.
They're $1 a piece.
Do you receive change in Pals change? Or do you receive actual change?
No, I think
back?
you just receive actual change.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. I didn't know they had their own exchange.
Oh, somebody on here said, love me some cheddar rounds. You better believe those cheddar rounds
Yes.
slap.
The cheddar rounds? I'm trying to
fave.
think. Lauren directed me to a place over in good old Beans Station.
That's right. They have them. You can purchase them.
Yeah, and I did, and they're literally the same
They're
thing.
the same thing.
They're
And
the
it's
black
right by my
market.
house.
They're the black market cheddar rounds. I am cutting off the excess of our black, and I'm gonna go ahead and weed out the big general area, but be very careful and mindful on your black of where you are weeding, because we don't want to weed out the wrong thing, you know? You want to be really mindful of that. I like to also break a section sometimes just to like get started. And so it weeds a little bit better. And you don't have to weed on the mat. A lot of people like to weed on the mat. It does help, like it would help right now, but you can weed off of the mat if you need to. Okay. This is our light pink. Now we've got to make sure, since we're going to our glitter, that we're changing to glitter iron-on. Let me move all my stuff out of the way. Okay, I'm going to use this corner. And glitter's the same. You're going to put it shiny side down. The glitter's going to be facing down towards the mat. If it's really thick and it's trying to curl up, you can use painter's tape or masking tape to hold the edges down, but you do want to burnish it really well. That way it doesn't move when it's cutting. And then under our browse all materials, we are going to type in glitter and go to glitter iron-on. Okay, glitter vinyl is different. We need glitter iron-on this time because this is HTV. Okay, and then we're gonna send it into our Cricut, and that should cut. And we can just keep on weeding. Does anybody have? Okay.
I was holding my breath.
So for some reason, my freckles didn't cut out on this shirt, and I was like determined to get these freckles to stay this time. I'm using a pin weeding tool. If you have never heard of these, I'm going to show you. This is basically just a weeding tool that has a very, very fine point tip on it, very fine point needle, and it just clicks on and off like a pin, but it's so good for weeding intricate projects like this. So I'm just going in here. I was trying to get those freckles to stay. So if you heard any heavy breathing, it was just me concentrating. I'm just trying to get all these little pieces out, and make sure that you're not weeding and talking like I am whenever you go to do this, because you'll mess up. So just concentrate. And if you need to, pull your image back up on Design Space so you can actually see what needs to be black and what doesn't, and then you can weed out anything that doesn't need to be black. Okay. What would also help with these little pieces, I was thinking we might have some painter's tape in here. It's okay. You know what? I'm gonna cut a piece of this transfer tape to stick all my weeded pieces off. Yeah, because I worry sometimes that I'm gonna accidentally leave a piece of like weeded vinyl on here, and I really don't want to do that. So we're just going to stick it to that little piece of transfer. There's a hack for you I just made up on the fly. Uh-oh. I'm trying to grab. So y'all can see now like what I mean about being careful, because you could accidentally start weeding the outline, and obviously we don't want it to do that. And when you get to the cup, that's when it's real finicky. Pay special attention to the cup. Okay.
ASMR.
We should have a whole, we keep joking about having an ASMR episode, but I'm not joking.
This is going to be the most intensive portion of this, is just weeding out these fries.
It is. But we're going, we're trucking along, everybody. Okay, Holly, next I'm curious which will be layered first or next. I'm about to show you.
I love it.
Yeah, and we can actually talk about this too and I would love to know your all's thoughts. And I'm gonna give you some tips and why certain ways wouldn't work.
Oh, we got a lot of red hearts.
Okay, so they have tried it.
Yes.
Okay.
We have some blue hearts coming in. Karen says tried, but never this many layers.
Okay, see, same. That's how, I mean, I have done a few, but I feel like more often than not, I'm just doing like 2 layers. It's not as often that I'm doing this many layers, and it's typically because if I was doing a project like this normally, I would sway to principal vinyl. But this is honestly so fun to me, like to put all these pieces together. It's like a little puzzle. It's like your own little miniature piece of artwork. I mean, because you assemble it all on your own. So it makes it fun.
People are saying certainly not this detailed. This one is a very detailed one.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. But I want to encourage you all to try it. If you have not done multi-layer and you are wanting to, this is, I mean, go for it. It's just vinyl. I mean, what's it matter? If you mess up, no biggie, you know? Really, the biggest place you're going to mess up is weeding the wrong thing, if I'm being honest with you. Okay. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. Look how cute. See, there's a little piece right here, and I worry about that. I don't want those to go onto my shirt. So make sure if you have any little scragglers, you get them. Okay, there's our outline. We've got our French fries, and you can kind of just like see how it's going to be layered. Okay, I'm going to weed our pink layers, and then we'll get started on the application process. Now I need to cut this.
You and your straight lines, man.
I know y'all like to see me show off.
Show up. Show up and show out.
I'm showing up and showing out. And you know what? I cut this reverse. I did this one reverse.
What do you mean?
Like this is glitter on that one. I did this one glitter.
Cool.
So we'll see how that turns out. I didn't mean to do that. Okay.
So his shoes are going to be standard pink, but the inside is going to be glitter pink.
Glitter, yeah.
And his Stanley is going to be regular pink and not glitter pink.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to, glitter is so hard. You got to get it right in the light to see. It weeds really good, but it's hard to like find the edges of your design. Okay. It's so interesting, glitter vinyl, like the way it feels. Y'all, I'm obsessed with the glitter. I was like not thinking it was gonna be cute, but it's gonna be really cute. So now we're just weeding the other pink part.
So we did have someone say, does putting baking soda really help weed black color? So it doesn't necessarily help with the weeding process. What it does is it allows you to see the lines better. The only thing is if you have trouble seeing it and you have trouble weeding it because you can't see it, I would suggest it. However, the only thing is because the adhesive or the transfer or the carrier sheet does have adhesive on it, whether you use baking soda, baby powder, whatever, you just have to be very, very diligent to make sure you wipe that off and it doesn't transfer onto your garment.
Right. Almost lost our tongue there. I lost it last time. I got it. I saved it. Okay. All right.
Or, yes, Karen said she bought a light board. You can purchase a light board to help if that is something that you think you need.
Yes, light boards can be helpful. I think particularly with black or glitter especially. We don't use one around here. Honestly, I just hold it up to the light and then weed it. But it can be very helpful if you have issues seeing it. I don't.
I think the other thing is upside down.
Okay.
Lord Jesus.
Do you see what Okay, good. Sorry.
It's fine. I was like, oh no, I didn't. And then I was like, I thought I did. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces. Now it's time to assemble. Now, this is a mistake I made the first time because I thought I want to put my black on last. I want it to be like the what holds it together, what brings it together. The issue is that your vinyl will shrink a little bit just by nature. Not much, just a little bit. And so whenever you go in and apply the colors first, sometimes when we go to apply that outline at the end, everything's just a little bit off. Like because it's shrunken just to the left a little bit, because you can't control that. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to do today is apply the black layer first. Okay, black layer first.
Courtney, are you overhead? Okay.
And then we're going to apply all the other layers after. So this is, like we were saying earlier, this is our little coloring sheet. So we've got our shirt. It's pre-washed, okay? Needs to be washed, especially if it's cotton. Okay. Now, I normally do, for adult shirt, I would do 3 finger widths apart, but kids, I usually do about 2. And I also will take my design for heat transfer vinyl. This is what I normally do. Just fold it right in half, crease it at the top and the bottom, and then try to line it up with the tag. Make sure that you lint roll it before you apply any HTV so it's nice and clean. And I'm just gonna line up my crease to my tag, and we're gonna do it about 2, maybe even 1.
Okay.
What?
Quick observant, something that we had a friend here that has observed. And
Okay, tell
said,
me.
The freckles, you're going to have to cut the freckles out of the middle if you want them on the top of the thing because there's not holes in the glitter vinyl.
Oh my gosh, so smart. Okay.
So just take a true, most of the time, this is not going to be the case. But
Right.
with this one, you do want the freckles on top. So she's just going to cut out the freckles out of the center really quickly.
Just cutting it right on the countertop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, little dude, gal. Just cutting your face off. I'm just cutting these freckles off. This is just me being committed to these freckles.
Yeah.
Because I had previously just let them go. But I think they're really cute and they add a lot of character. So we're going to keep them today. Okay.
Sorry for that. I know that's a lot to ask.
It's okay. We're committed. I'm going to keep you right there.
Keep you right there. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Okay. I'm going to line this up. We're doing like a finger widths down. I kind of like it up towards the top a little bit. Look how cute. It's so cute. Okay. And then we've got our little heat mat. Now it's not going to fit inside, but we can put it behind it. And then we are going to return on our mini heat press because it took me forever. And we're going to put it on the medium heat setting. I honestly didn't think it was going to take us this long to cut out all of that.
You're getting red.
I'm burning up. I'm sweating. I'm sweating. Look, y'all, I don't know why. I don't know why I buy sweaters. I just shouldn't buy sweaters. I'm postpartum. I'm like, it's just, I have hot heat. I'm hot all the time. Okay, we're medium heat setting. I'm just going to go over this slowly. You do not need to put a Teflon sheet or butcher paper. We get a lot of questions about this. The carrier sheet is a protective sheet, okay? It is protective. There's no vinyl like being ironed on directly. We have the carrier sheet. And so I just kind of go over this. The carrier sheet is sticky, so it keeps it in place. And I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure, just light to medium pressure. And yeah, and you can usually tell. It's hard for you all to tell because you're not right here with me, but you get little tiny bubbles all over the vinyl, and that's how you know that it has had a heat run over it and it's adhered to the shirt. And Caesar Easy Weed is also a warm peel. So you don't want to peel it off right when it's hot, but you want to let it sit for a second. And then before you start, don't yank it off. Kind of delicately pull it off and make sure that everything is stuck down as you go. If for some reason it's not, you can lay it back down and iron it on. So you just want to take your time. If you pull too hard and it's not ironed on, it will stretch your vinyl and it'll come back down all weird and like crooked and not cute. Someone asked about the freckles on the glitter vinyl. It should adhere to the glitter vinyl just fine. We should be good. Okay.
Also, if you are selling a shirt, I personally would pre-wash in like sensitive, like
no smell.
No smell, no anything. Just pre-wash it in and no fabric softener.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can do a quick wash on it too, but I would not. Don't need to be just water. It just needs to be like very standard.
Right. Like
no smell laundry detergent.
Okay. I'm sorry, my big old head's in front of this. So then you're going to want to line everything up. So I'm just coming in here and this is like the hardest part. This is the most tedious part, okay?
This is where you're going to color.
This is where you're coloring. Oh, it's so hard to get it perfect sometimes. And listen, it's going to be a little bit off in some areas, like you're hand laying the vinyl down. So you just have to be aware. Now, if this, like my little carrier sheet is very skinny here. If I'm worried about that I'm going to touch any more vinyl, I can use that old carrier sheet to protect the vinyl that's already down. So just be mindful of that. And we're just going to add this on. If you find that whatever vinyl you're using is really shrinking, if it's not a whole bunch of layers, sometimes you can just tack it down for a few seconds, add another layer, tack it down, and then once you've got all your layers down, you can like fully iron it.
Yeah.
But where this is so many, it gets kind of finicky to do that, especially because we're using glitter and we're using regular, and glitter is like a cool peel, so it starts to get messy. Okay, so we're just gonna barely, delicately pull that off. Okay. Next.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you. Next. We're going to line it all up.
Now, the reason that we did the black first, and I know we're probably going to have this question, but the reason we did the black first is because laying all of these colors down exactly where they need to go without the black is going to be so hard to do. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just almost impossible. And the white, which I know you were able to line up the white.
Oh,
like
I cut it up.
Oh, you did cut it up?
I cut it up.
Yeah, I highly suggest cutting it up and doing a little at a time.
So we're just doing the eyes. I just cut the hands off. I'm just really...
I cut the hands off.
I just cut them off. And like even the Stanley's not lining up great, so I'm going to cut
the Stanley off.
I'm going to cut it off too. And we're just going to individually apply these hands.
And that's going to be the trick with this, is cutting it up and tacking it down with your mini easy press, each simple thing at a time. You don't need to try to lay down, in my opinion, and what I have done in the past, it makes it harder trying to keep it all together and line it all up. I would much rather cut it up and do it in smaller pieces to get them perfect.
And listen, these are on little tiny pieces of transfer. I was like, why is that different colors? I still had a dang piece of transfer tape on there. You can take like that big carrier sheet and put it on top. See, we have a carrier sheet here for this hand, but I want to protect the rest of it, so I'm going to lay that on there, and I can iron through both. It'll heat transfer through both layers of that transfer, because it's really not that thick. Okay, and then we've got our little Stanley cup with the straw here. Okay, I'm just gonna get that with the point. This is why I love the Cricut Mini Easy Press, because I can get in there with the point of this and just iron on that little section and then peel off the transfer. And then, where is that stuck to? Y'all, we are in the home stretch. We've got 2 more layers. And I'm gonna actually separate this fries before guys from the other layer, the other part. Just gonna cut it like so. And then we've got the sides of this are Stanley. Our tongue is totally off. This is why we like to cut up our pieces. I am actually cutting down the middle here to get this tongue. Let's iron the tongue on before we lose them. We don't want to lose them. Take my little protective sheet, iron the tongue on. It's so little. It's so
there's
little.
a tongue?
Yes, I lost it on my first one, but not today. Not today. We got it. We got the tongue and the freckles. Okay.
Okay.
We're not losing it today. Okay, now for this one, I'm just going to line it up. And we're going to, remember, we're doing it kind of to the left. You can put it right on top of it and then go to the left and like up a little bit. And that's going to give it that drop shadow. And see how many times I've reused this? Like I'm reusing it over and over and over again. It's just a protective sheet. Or a protective barrier, I should say. Okay. And I saw someone mention puff vinyl. Now, you can layer puff vinyl.
You can, but not with this small.
Yeah, not this small. When you do puff vinyl, it literally puffs up and it expands. And you have to have a certain amount of pressure and heat settings.
And it has to be all at one time.
Yeah, so it depends on your design that you're doing. But this design is a no.
Like the only thing that I could see you would be able to puff might be the black layer on like the little fry guide. Not even because you wouldn't be able to do puff on like the drop shadow layer.
Yeah.
But even like all of those fine tiny lines, if you did lay the black on top of everything, it's gonna puff up and not look good.
Right. Okay, doing the Stanley. How cute is this, y'all? I'm just loving it. Okay, I mean, y'all can see just how simple it can be if you break it down. We like to say into bite-sized pieces.
Yes.
That's going to be like my motto of the year. Break it down into bite-sized pieces. Okay, I'm going to put him there. Honestly, I could just go in here, lay these down, and then put that big sheet on top and iron it all at once. I love it, you guys.
I still think puff for the fries would be.
Oh.
I don't know.
You're saying no.
No, somebody was there. We've had a lot of people in the comments saying, "What about puff for the fries?" And I don't know that it would puff right.
If you want a texture, go for flocked. Like
I would do flocked.
Would be cute to give it like a French fry texture, or
with this
velvet.
With this intricate of a design,
yes,
I would go with a different texture and not puff.
Wait, are you guys ready for how cute this is about to be? I cannot. It's glitter. You can't see his face as good, but it's still really cute. Okay, if we did a lighter glitter maybe, but I think it's cute. I like it. Fries before guys. Now, glitter is a cool peel, so you're going to want to let this cool down a little bit before. Because let me show you. Oh, this one's going to be okay. A lot of times glitter will just come right back up. No, it is coming up a little bit. I'm going to let that cool down just for a second, and then we're done. Does anybody have freckles? The freckles.
They're on the table.
They're on the table. You're not even going to be able to see them, you guys. You're not going to be able to see them.
No, you didn't lose the lashes.
No, they're in there.
It's just hard to see because of that glitter.
Y'all can't see them because the glitter, yeah. The glitter really should have been a lighter shade of glitter. You can't even see these dang freckles. I'm ironing them on because it's too late and I saved them and I want to commit to it. Okay, here we go. Iron the freckles on. You literally can't see them.
Well,
okay.
in your defense, that portion was supposed to have been the light pink.
It was supposed to be
It's
light
okay.
pink. Okay, what do you guys think?
It's so cute.
He's cute.
Cutie patootie.
So I love it. There's that one. Look, it's like reverse. How cute is that?